Sorry, we're a little behind tonight. It's a busy time of year. I'm going to call the meeting to order. It is the May 13th, 2026 Mount Diablo Unified School District Board meeting. We always start with our land acknowledgement. We recognize that the Mount Diablo Unified School District sits on the territory of the Confederated Village of the Lashon.
Can I interrupt? I don't think people know that we started.
That's never been something I've heard before, but okay. The ancestral and unceded land of the Bay Miwok and Northern Yokot, the successors of the sovereign Verona Band of Contra Costa County. As members of the Mount Diablo Unified School community, it is vitally important that we not only recognize the history of the land on which we learn, but we also recognize that the land we inhabit and learn on is the ancestral land of these people who are alive and flourishing members of the Mount Diablo Unified School District and broader Bay Area communities today. And with that, we will do our pledge. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And just for the record, our student trustee is being honored somewhere tonight, so he won't be joining us, but we'll be back next time. Okay, review and potential approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting held on April 22nd, 2026.
Madam President, I move that the board approve the minutes for regular board meeting held April 22nd, 2026.
I'll second that.
Thank you. We have a motion by trustee Lawrence and a second by trustee McDougall. And that passes 5-0-0. Next, we have 6.4, review and potential approval of the agenda as presented. Dr. Clark.
Yes, Madam President, I have a couple of adjustments. I would like to move item 12.1 to item 8.1, and I would like to move 10.1 to item 8.2. And I need to pull item 15.6.
Okay.
We'll bring that back at a later time.
Alrighty.
I believe that is it.
Madam President,
Yes.
I move that the board approve the agenda as amended, moving 12.1 to 8.1, moving 10.1 to 8.2, and pulling item 15.6 to be considered at a future time.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Uh,
We have a motion by trustee Mayo, a second by trustee McDougall. And that passes 5-0-0. Okay. That will take us to our report out of closed session. In closed session, by a vote of 5-0, the board took action to approve the non-reelection of 2 certificated employees. In closed session, by a vote of 5-0, the board took action to approve the reassignment of 1 vice principal to a vice principal middle school position for the 2026-2027 school year. In closed session, by a vote of 5-0, the board took action to approve the reassignment of 1 vice principal to a teaching position for which they were credentialed for the 2026-27 school year. In closed session, by a vote of 5-0, the board took action to approve the resignation of 1 employee per separation agreement. The board met in closed session with legal counsel to discuss a matter of existing litigation pursuant to Government Code number 54956.9D1. by a vote of 5-0 in the matter of Gosney versus Mount Diablo Unified School District, Contra Costa County Superior Court Case Number C-24-02021. The board approved a settlement of the stipulated amount and according to the settlement terms. The board met in closed session with legal counsel to discuss a matter of existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Number 54956.9D1 by a vote of 5-0 in the matter of Mount Diablo Unified School District versus Timothy Day, Contra Costa County Superior Court Case number 926, N26-0631. The board approved a settlement according to the settlement terms. The board met in a closed session with legal counsel to discuss the matter of existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Number 54956.9 by a vote of 5-0 in the matter of Mount Diablo Unified School District versus Sherry Day, Contra Costa County Superior Court Case number N260632. The board gave direction and settlement authority to the general counsel. The board met in closed session with legal counsel to discuss the matter of existing litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9 by a vote of 5-0, the matter of MP versus Mount Diablo Unified School District, Office of Administrative Hearings, case number 2025080440. The board gave direction and settlement authority to the general counsel. The board vote in closed session with legal counsel to discuss a matter of anticipated litigation and significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9 D2. In the matter of one case anticipated litigation, the board voted 5-0, approved a settlement agreement up to the stipulated amount and according to the settlement terms. And then we went into possible expulsions. And we'll take it from there. Who's got 7.2? That would be you. 1426. Yeah.
Madam President, I move that the board approve the stipulated expulsion agreement for student 14-26, subject to meeting the following requirements. One, student must not enter the grounds of any MDUSD school at any time for any purpose without express permissions from the campus's administration, with the following exceptions. Student will be allowed to enter campuses of any student's siblings for the purposes of picking up or dropping off that sibling at school. Two, student will be allowed to enter campuses of any of students' siblings for purposes of attending any event involving student siblings as student is accompanied by parent. Two, student will not attend any MDUSD school-sponsored activities, whether on or off campus. Three, student will complete his coursework through attendance at the Opportunity Program starting August 2026. He will remain in home and hospital for the current school year. Four, student will complete 30 hours of counseling. Five, student will demonstrate a successful school experience, which includes: one, no violation of school rules and Ed Code 48900, 48915, or district rules and regulations. Two, satisfactory academic progress, earn a minimum of 60 credits. Three, student satisfactory attendance, 90% attendance. The student will communicate in advance regarding any planned absences and provide documentation for excused absences as required. Six, student must not commit any expellable offenses as defined under the Education Code.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Lawrence, a second by trustee Mayo. And that passes 5-0. Okay. For 1526.
Madam President, I move that the board approve the expulsion and stipulated agreement for student 15-26 with the following requirements: that prior to readmission, student 15-26 is required to meet the following conditions. One, student must not enter the grounds of any MDUSD school at any time for any purpose. Two, student will not attend any MDUSD school-sponsored activities, whether on or off campus. Three, student will complete her coursework in home and hospital. Four, student will complete 15 hours of counseling. Five, student will demonstrate a successful school experience, which includes: one, no violation of school rules and education codes 48900, 48915, or district rules and regulations. Two, satisfactory satisfactory academic performance progress, earn a minimum of 35 credits, 3 satisfactory attendance, 90% attendance, and no more than 10% tardies. 6, student must not commit any expellable offenses as defined under the Education Code.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion by trustee Lawrence, second by trustee Nzewi. And that passes 500, and we have one last expulsion.
Madam President, I move the board approve the stipulated expulsion agreement for student 16-26. Prior to readmission, student 16-26 is required to meet the following condition. Student must not enter the grounds of any Mount Diablo Unified School District at any time for any purpose. Student will not attend any Mount Diablo Unified School District school-sponsored activities, whether on or off campus. Student will complete coursework through attendance at Olympic High School starting August 2026. Student will remain in home and hospital for the current school year. Student will complete 30 hours of counseling, demonstrate a successful school experience, which includes no violation of school rules and education codes 48,900, 48,915, or district rules and regulations. Satisfactory academic progress and earn a minimum of 60 credits, satisfactory attendance, 90% attendance, and no more than 10% tardies. Student must not commit any expellable offenses as defined under the Education Code.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. We have motion by trustee Mayo, second by trustee Lawrence. And that passes 500. So if I understand right, Dr. Clark, it goes to you for 8 point, okay.
Madam President, I would like to call to the podium. I'd like to call Catherine Fireman, who is our director of the multilingual language department, and we're going to do a brief presentation on our newcomer leadership council. And so we have a team of students.
Good evening, Dr. Clark, Madam President Mason, trustees. Thank you for having us this evening. My name is Catherine Fireman. I'm the director of the Multilingual Education Department, and I'm honored to be here this evening with members of our multilingual education team and our newcomer student advisory subcommittee. Tonight, we are pleased to share insights from newcomer student voices across Mount Diablo Unified School District, where we currently serve approximately 1,300 newcomer students district-wide. Through this presentation, you will hear directly how students are informing our understanding of belonging, support, and student experience, as well as recommendations that can strengthen our system in response. Next slide. Oh, I have the clicker, huh? So just to tell you a little bit about our CalNew grant, we are finishing our 4th year of the CalNew grant. It is a grant we wrote 4 years ago, and it is administered by the California Department of Social Services. And we have to focus on the funds and allocate them to 3 areas: basic needs, family engagement and empowerment, and youth engagement and development. And Mount Diablo Unified School District is one of 20 districts statewide that has received this grant. And we, in our first 4 years, have added staff to our department to support this work with newcomers. We had 1 part-time newcomer CWA, and we have 2 newcomer social work specialists who are here with us tonight. And we have focused on the development of the newcomer student advisory subcommittee, which you'll be hearing from this evening.
All right. Hello, my name is Vanessa Castillo, and I am a newcomer social work specialist. A powerful example of this grant in action is our Newcomer Student Advisory Subcommittee, which was created to elevate newcomer student voice and leadership. Since October, student leaders from across the district have met twice monthly online to reflect on strengths, challenges, and recommendations for improving newcomer student experiences here at Mount Diablo Unified. This year, students from 3 comprehensive high schools participated in this leadership effort. And these lovely ladies that you see here today also led a district-wide survey reaching 328 newcomer students. This is a 73% participation rate across 26 ELD classrooms. They focused on belonging, safety, support, and student experiences. Tonight, the findings we are sharing are grounded in student voice and intend to help inform continued systems improvements. You will hear from these newcomer leaders now.
Good evening, my name is María Cristina Correa. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María Cristina Correa. I'm a senior at Concord High School, and I was born in Texas and grew up in Mexico. And I have been in the United States for 9 months. As a newcomer student for myself, newcomer support is important to me because when I come here, I need some help to feel part of the school community and know how things work in an American school.
Good evening, my name is Mia Garcia Arce. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Mia Garcia Arce. I'm a senior at Concord High School. I was born in Honduras and grew up in Nicaragua. I have been in California for 2 years and a half. When I came here, I noticed that some things were hard for newcomer students, for example, getting involved in clubs or speaking English. I would like to improve the resources for newcomer students at my school and in the district.
Good evening. My name is Destiny Benitez Gomez. Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Destiny Benitez Gomez. I'm a senior at Mount Diablo High School. I grew up in Mexico and I have been in California for 2.5 years. I wanted to be part of this committee because I would like to help newcomer students feel more comfortable being at school. I want to help them receive the support they need to be successful.
Good evening. My name is Rugiatu Diallo. Bonsoir. Je m'appelle Rugiatu Diallo. I'm a senior at YV High School. I was born in Sierra Leone and grew up in Guinea. I have been in the US for almost 2 years. It's important for me to lend my voice to improve the school and to help other students because I have also been in their shoes.
Good evening. My name is Lina Alzobi. مساء الخير اسمي لين. I'm a freshman at Ignacio Valley High School. I grew up in Jordan and I have been in the United States for a little over a year. I wanted to be of this committee because I like to help other students.
Good evening. My name is Amy Fritz, and I'm a secondary MLL support teacher. After discussing the results of the survey with the students, we found that the majority of students had very strong opinions in the following categories: newcomer orientation, support that newcomer students needed to be successful, and school safety.
In my opinion, the most important information that we learned from this survey was that most students really wanted to have someone who could communicate with them in their language, especially when they first arrive. Students need someone to speak with who can communicate with them regarding both academic issues and personal issues.
For me, the most important information that we learned from the survey was the almost 80% of the students report that someone explained things about school to them when they arrived. This is good news, but there is room for improvement.
I think the most important information that we learned from the survey was that the teachers and the counselors are the most helpful to newcomers. I'm glad that the teachers and the counselors are welcoming and helpful to our students because it means that our students do not have to feel nervous about coming to school every day.
In my opinion, the school community is welcoming to new students. When I came, teachers tried their best to help me and explain things to us. Teachers who speak the same language as the students make students feel comfortable.
From my perspective, the most important information that we learned from the survey was the district-wide 13% of the students had been called names or made fun of because of their culture or country of origin. I hope we can improve in this area. We have the opportunity as a community to work together to improve the school experience for all students.
We were so impressed with the suggestions we received from the students, and we tried to come up with recommendations that reflected those suggestions. The first recommendation is for a structured bilingual peer ambassador program. Many sites do have student-led campus tours, but we realized that students needed a fuller program that ensures that they learn rules and expectations in their own language and also have opportunities to make friends and get involved in school activities. The second recommendation is to implement the Newcomer Student Support Toolkit at all sites. Our newcomer social work specialists and their intern are currently working on this toolkit. It provides school site staff members with handy checklists and information that can help improve services for newcomer students across the campus. Lastly, students requested a way to know who the adults are on campus who can help them in their home language. So the third recommendation is a visual map of site staff with pictures, names, languages they speak, and their campus locations. We think these recommendations are reasonable, and we look forward to supporting sites with implementation.
Good evening. My name is Estrella Estrada, and I'm a newcomer social work specialist. In addition to the survey data, we included open-ended questions to center student voice. The recommendations Amy just shared are directly reflected in what students told us. Here are a few examples in their own words.
One student from College Park said, maybe assign students to the new students to help them the first 2 weeks with their schedule and classes.
A 11th grade student said teachers and students could also be more friendly and supportive, and the school could create clubs or activities where new students can make friends and feel included.
A Concord High student said, my school do it very well. The big problem isn't the first time I don't understand what they said.
An 11th grade student said, I would feel more supported if the school had easier access to mental health supports, having a safe place to work.
A 10th grade student say the school can help the newcomers by value their mother tongue in the way to help improve their English. Also, they have words in many languages all around the school.
Thank you. I would like to end with this quote. This quote is by Dr. Donna Mitra, an expert on student voice and engagement. When students believe that they are valued for their perspectives and respected, they begin to develop a sense of ownership and attachment to the organization in which they are involved in.
So I just want to thank you all for your time to hear the voices of these brave newcomer students and their leadership. If we also appreciate the MLL team, but we have some counselors and ELD teachers here who are supporting these students in the audience. We appreciate you being here. And if the has any questions or comments, our students are here to answer any questions.
Just that they're so well spoken, and it's such a nice way to start our meeting. You guys are why we're here doing what we do. And so we really appreciate you taking the time to come down. If any other school board members would like to comment.
I'm really impressed by the response rate to your survey because we don't see that anywhere in any of the surveys. Parents don't respond like that. So I'd be curious why you think students were so willing to respond, and especially because you also had open-ended questions, which are the ones that people usually skip. I'll take it from the students or from the staff. It doesn't matter.
So because like some students be nervous to share their voices, so and like we come and we share our voices, and like we be brave.
I believe that because they want to improve the resources for other students and because they want to have more opportunities for their life because school is for make their future more bright.
I will just tell you that what the students did was they asked their teachers to have class time to give the survey. So I think that contributed as well. And so many teachers were able to take a few minutes of class time and let students do that. And the survey was anonymous, of course. So I think that also helped.
Great. And so I really want to thank you all for your leadership in this. Obviously, we as a board and as a district are committed to this. And our goals are really to make sure that every student feels welcome and safe in our schools. And just officially from the superintendent, I want to welcome you all, even though some of you have been here for 2 years. But thank you for coming tonight. And we would like to take a picture with you up front here, if you will please come up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mario. All right. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and next, Dr. Clark?
Yes. So next we are extremely excited to move into item. Let me get that item first.
It was 10.1 and we changed.
10.1, and this is recognition of the Mount Diablo Unified School District 2026 Classified Employees of the Year finalists. Can we please just start off with a big round of applause? So they gave me a script, but this is basically, I'm going to go off script for you for a minute and just say that you know, we have close to 3,800 employees in the Mount Diablo Unified School District, and each and every one of them plays a pivotal role in supporting all students. And really, the reason why we're here is to support students and to support all of our students. And I think you just saw a great example of that in the students who just came here tonight. But these individuals who we're recognizing tonight are all part of a massive team. And so I know that folks in this profession do not like to take credit or do not like the spotlight to be on them. But tonight we are going to honor these 4 individuals, and I'm going to embarrass them with some nice things that are said. And really they truly are, deserved of everything that we're going to say. And just on behalf of the board, we are so appreciative for your work and for your commitment. So just real quick, all 4 honorees were nominated to represent the Mount Diablo Unified School District in the Contra Costa County Classified Employee of the Year program. We are especially, I can't give that away yet. So tonight we are pleased to recognize these 4 individuals and thank them for the pride that they take in their work and for their positive impact they have had in our community. So first off, and if she will please stand and be recognized and get ready to be embarrassed. And that is going to be Shannon Bodaroff. Did I almost get it? Botdorf. She is a lead campus supervisor at Northgate High School. And Shannon, I'm just reading what they wrote, but she's worked at the school for 29 years. Yes. And she was nominated by Principal Kelly Cooper for consistently demonstrating excellence through unwavering reliability, deep institutional knowledge, and an extraordinary commitment to student and staff safety. Her initiative and problem-solving skills are exceptional. She has an unmatched ability to anticipate areas of vulnerability and take proactive actions to protect the campus. Her love for her role is evident in every interaction, and her commitment elevates the entire campus. Through 29 years of service, Shannon has built relationships that will last well beyond a student's time on campus. Simply put, her consistent excellence, dedication, and quiet leadership make her indispensable to our community and a true model of what Employee of the Year represents. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Shannon Bodaroff. Congratulations. We have this for you.
Thank you.
And we would like you just to say a couple words. Even if you just want to thank the people who are here. Let me just say hello and goodbye.
Usually I'm not at a loss for words, but thank you.
That's fine.
Let me I just have one quote. I think it's Confucius. If you find something you love, you've never worked a day in your life. And that's how I feel about my job.
Hey.
And Dr. Clark, can I quickly say something? So
We have a trustee wants to make a comment.
I'll just embarrass her further. So I will just share 2 very distinct memories that I have, which I think are just very indicative of her character and her excellence. And one was a few years ago that there was a smoky day and Northgate was open, and I went over there, and Shannon was the first person I saw who quickly told me, why is this place open? What are you doing? And let's get it shut down. And I will tell you, she was absolutely correct. And she said it because of her passion and her conviction for the students, for the staff, for the community, and had no problem just bluntly telling me and the then superintendent and the principal. And so she was absolutely right. And then 2, we have a small dog named Pele who has he has a bit of a adventurous streak, and so occasionally he's a bit of an escape artist. And he one day wandered over to Northgate, and we eventually tracked him down, and he was hanging out with Shannon, and I took him back, and then Pele like ran back to her and just really was having the time of his life after we'd spent hours searching for him, and whenever, and I've seen Shannon so many times over the years at basketball games and every other event, and she always, how's Pele doing? How's my friend Pele doing? And I just think that's so indicative of her. And so this is such a well-deserved award.
Thank you. So now that everyone saw how this runs, they could. All right, next we have from Highlands Elementary School, we have Mary Ann Brezia. Brezia? Now, if you know anything about schools, everyone thinks the principal runs the school, but really the office manager, school secretary runs the school. So the Highlands Elementary School secretary was nominated by Principal Dr. Carrie Neeham and teacher Amy Bilson. As a new site administrator to Mount Diablo Unified, I rely heavily on her institutional knowledge, steady judgment, and collaborative spirit, Dr. Neerham said. Her impact on student success is immeasurable. Through consistent outreach to families and careful monitoring of attendance and independent studies, she has played a central role in reducing Highlands' chronic absentee rate from 10.1% in January of the last school year to 5.2% this year. Families trust her because she communicates with genuine care and follows through. Students seek her out when they need reassurance or support, and she helps them feel calm and ready to return to class. And we really do this for the students. So I do have a little friend out there that's going to help me with something. So if she could come up here. Then she has been an integral part of Highlands for many years and serves as a steady, trusted presence for students, families, and staff. So we are proud to recognize Mary Ann Brezia as one of Mount Diablo Unified School District's Classified Employees of the Year. Yeah. Oh, you have a speech written. You're all ready. Come on. There you go. Come on up here. Yeah. Oh, you got
Come with me. I need my hands. I want to thank my incredible administrator, teachers, staff, or my family.
Yes.
It's such a privilege every day to get to come to work with beautiful students and community of Highlands Elementary. Thank you for this honor. It's truly a privilege. And let's just hope. Right, Hope?
All right. So next we have our third Classified Employee of the Year. And so is there a Kimberly Montano in the audience? Yes, yes. So a special education assistant at Riverview Middle School, and again, I'm only reading, for 26 years. Kimberly was nominated by special education teacher Dr. Mary Acebo, who has been named a 2026-2027 Mount Diablo Teacher of the Year. Our collaboration has become well known on campus, and we are often referred to as the dynamic duo, Dr. Acebo said. Kim brings a level of knowledge and competence that cannot be taught overnight. She deeply understands students, systems, and school expectations, which allows her to respond effectively to challenges that may arise. Kim takes initiative in ways that many others do not, always keeping student safety, learning, and dignity at the forefront. Montano is often sought out by colleagues for guidance and support because she is knowledgeable, approachable, and honest. Supervisors respect her experience and judgment, and students respond positively to her calm presence and clear expectations. We are proud to recognize Kimberly Montano as one of Mount Diablo Unified School District's Classified Employees of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, Kimberly Montano.
I'm kind of loud.
The online can't hear you unless you use the microphone. Okay.
Great work working with you, as well as other 38 staff members I've worked in classrooms with. With all of them, I've learned a lot. Of course, we're there for the students because that's a lot of people don't want to work in education anymore, but you have to have the heart. If you don't have the heart, it's not meant for you. So I'm always there for them. I like to say it's kind of like Survivor. You have to outplay, outwit, outlast to make it 26 years or more. I mean, my heart's in it and it's just not meant for everybody. So everyone who's in education, I definitely applaud all of you because we all earn this. I don't care if you work in cafeteria, maintenance operation, your custodian, secretarial, people get overlooked all the time. So my award is for all of them out there in MDUSD, throughout the state, the nation. We're the unsung heroes, you guys. And I'm glad our board recognizes us. Thank you.
Wow. So our next and final classified employee of the year is Violetta Tria. Yes, so please stand. I'm going to embarrass you. Okay. So anyway, I hope that we're not here too late because I heard that she wakes up at an unghastly hour every single morning to get to work because not only is she working food service, she works in the warehouse, she's an attendant, truck driver, pretty much does it all. So a food and nutrition services driver and warehouse attendant, Violetta was nominated by her supervisor, Chad Voss, for her 27 years of service in the district. Violetta has also been selected as the Contra Costa County's nominee to advance to the State Classified Employee of the Year competition. This is an honor that reflects the impact of her service. Violetta's positive attitude and dedication truly set her apart. She approaches her responsibilities with enthusiasm, professionalism, and genuine care for others. She started off her career as a substitute food assistant and steadily expanded her skills, learning to drive a semi-truck and operate a forklift. She has significantly enhanced the food and nutrition program at MDUSD through her initiative, adaptability, and unwavering can-do attitude. Through her empathy, leadership, and dedication to teamwork, Violetta has earned the respect of the entire Food and Nutrition Department and continues to make a meaningful, positive impact on those she works with every day. She also has strong family connections to the district. Her daughter, Justine Rhea, was an MDUSD special education assistant, and her late father, Ernesto Rhea, retired in 1988 at age 70 after working as a custodian and then continued working as a substitute custodian for 5 years at Mountain View Elementary. The Mount Diablo Unified School District, its superintendent and entire governing board is proud to recognize Violetta Tria as the MDUSD Classified Employee of the Year, and good luck in the state competition. You have a speech, right?
Just a little bit. Good evening to everybody. I am very honored to be named the 2026 Classified School Employee of the Year. First of all, I would like to thank my husband and my daughter for their support. Second, I'd like to thank our Food and Nutrition Services Director, Alex Emmett, who is always there for me despite our long work days. And most importantly, I'd like to thank our warehouse manager, Chad Voss, who nominated me. Like I've said to him before, just being nominated is reward enough. I cannot thank you enough for all the things you've done for me. We make a great team. You're the best manager we ever had. I hope I can continue to work at the Mount Diablo Unified School District, which what I call a second home. Thank you.
Could we start all our meetings that way? I like that. First the students, then the employees. Okay. We're going to get to our public comment now. Our first person will be Anna Marin.
And we're going to have 2 minutes for public comment. I'll be flexible, but don't abuse it.
Good evening, board members. My name is Ana Maria. Recent public comments suggested that dual immersion program belongs in schools where Spanish is heard in the hallways. That reasoning is pretty and deeply concerning because it echoes ideas that were rejected by California long time ago. In 1947, Mendez versus Westminster established that separating Mexican American students based on language or background was discriminatory. Dual immersion programs were created to bring students together across cultures and languages, not to concentrate them. when you're a successful program from a high performing diverse school and justify placing it in a more heavily Spanish speaking school, you're not necessarily expanding access, you're actually concentrating it. As a Latina and immigrant mother, this feels deeply personal. It feels like my kids must only go, if I want my kids to learn Spanish, they must go to the Latino school because they're not welcome in the other schools. Okay, the Spanish speaking, or where Spanish is spoken in the hallways, which are the schools that have highest concentrations of Latinos. I urge the board to reevaluate a rationale that California rejected decades ago, and really just try to do your own research on the Mendes versus Westminster case and ensure that we are expanding the opportunity and providing integration for all of our students. Thank you.
Next, we have Angel Milan.
Oh, is it on? All right. So good evening, everyone. Good evening, board members, President Mr. Clark. Oh, sorry, Superintendent Mr. Clark. Sorry. Well, I just wanted to say it's been at least a couple of months since I've seen all of you, but overall, just wanted to jump into this because. But overall, I just want to share a little suggestion with all of you guys. I know that especially for me in particular for me, I am very excited to share this little announcement with all of you. Instead of becoming a special ed teacher in MDUSD, I'm going to be becoming a special ed teacher's assistant with MDUSD. So that's going to be very exciting for me. And overall, I wanted to share this special idea and suggestion with all of you. You see, with people with disabilities, it comes, at a time that, they need, more support, especially in the blind and visually impaired community. But in this case, I know how it feels to, because in this, circumstance, when it comes to, being, included and, interactive with other people, but specifically, it would be great to have, more support, more services for people who are blind or low vision. In particular, we need, more people, more support services like, orientation and mobility, more braille assistive technology, kind of services for them. Because right now, throughout my years here in the school district, we hardly have barely enough, students who are blind or low vision. And it would be nice to have, more, students in that sector, and I feel, as a person of myself with a visual disability myself, I know how it feels to have, challenges and feel discriminated sometimes. I know how it feels, but overall, it's going pretty good. And especially, recently I've been playing a Paralympic sport called goalball lately. And if you guys are interested, you can always reach out to me anytime if you have any questions about the sport. So you guys are more than welcome to come and check out our practices in Berkeley. So if you want, I can send you guys some information down the road later.
Angel, if you can wrap up, thank you.
But anyway, if you have any more questions or suggestions, you can always reach me anytime. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa Catrone.
Good evening, Superintendent Clark and trustees of the board. Thank you for this time to address you this evening. My name is Lisa Catroni, and I teach newcomer students and long-term English learners at Concord High School. I'm here tonight with a couple concerns I hope you will keep in mind as we are planning for the new school year. In the district's LCAP goals, it is mentioned that multilingual learners are a major group for focal scholars. I'm grateful for that acknowledgement. It is not fully clear how, however, what the specific results should be for those focal scholars, but I would like to highlight some needs that could help a specific group of newcomers excel, that being students labeled as SLIFE. For those that don't know, SLIFE students are students who have had interrupted or limited schooling opportunities in their native country. They need us to address their acculturation to the U.S. school system, attend to their social emotional needs, for example, post-traumatic stress disorder, poverty, family separation, and other traumatic experiences. They need us to provide not only focused literacy instruction, but also focused academic skill instruction to bridge gaps in knowledge. And one area that seems to really stand out is in math and numerical sense. And they need us to provide integration of content in language instruction. The district has done some really great work in some of these areas. One example is the African Family Resource Night at Concord High in conjunction with Church Relief Service addressing family connection and poverty. So thank you for that. To our district MLL department for your coordination and work in this area. It has also been awesome to see some of our newcomer students take on these really big leadership roles, also led and organized by the district MLL department. I was really excited to hear from two of my own students tonight from this amazing team of student leaders. An area of need I would like to focus on, however, is the emotional support for our newcomers, but most importantly, for our SLIFE students. It is recommended that these students get wraparound services. At this point, it is my understanding that in our district, the decision has been made to provide no extra supports for any 9th or 10th grade SLIFE students, only 11th or 12th, and I don't believe even our 11th or 12th graders at Concord High receiving any extra support that I know of. 75% of our SLIFE students at Concord High School are 9th and 10th graders. 0% speak Spanish as their first language. So having other language support at the district perhaps needs some attention. Okay. I would like to say, after looking closely at our list of SLIFE students, a huge percentage of our newcomer counselors' time is going to these SLIFE students who truly do need extra support. The extra need is really being felt in ELD classroom as students are brought to class and the
Thank
doors
you.
closed behind them, leaving the unaddressed
Thank you.
needs to the ELD teacher and counselor to
Thank
deal
you
with
so
alone.
much.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, sorry. You.
The mic was on. Sorry, Heather.
Superintendent and board members. So what brings me here tonight is yet another issue. I understand address verification very well. I sent an email, I wasn't going to come. About less than an hour after I sent the email, a district person comes to my apartment. I've lived here for 6 years. I've had 9 address verification in 2 years. That's excessive. Is there no communication happening? Are we not trusting? My youngest just started Shadelands October 28th. So I had to give all that paperwork. I'm talking everything. Are we not trusting the district employees who registered me? My twins just entered freshman year. I had address verification then. Last year, I had someone come to my house again. I turned in everything. Vehicle registration, apartment lease, even a handwritten letter and one from the corporate management of my apartment. I mean, everything, tax returns, a letter from Social Security because I do have a disabled child. You name it, I've turned it in with this address. Something is happening. I don't know if it's coincidences. I don't know, but it happens after I come and speak out. I'm just saying. So hopefully something can be done, looked into. If there's not a system in place, like, hey, we've already checked this person. Why are we going to go check her again? We already called her. Why are we showing up? And the person who called me doesn't work in attendance and registration or isn't, without naming her, she doesn't even work with verifying attendance. So thank you and have a good night.
Thank you, Heather. Gina Hayes. Or Haynes. Have I been saying your name wrong for all these years, Gina, that we've known each other?
Oh my gosh.
Good evening, Dr. Clark, Board President Mason, and members of the board. On April 22nd, I appear before you to present the annual report for fiscal year 23-24 from the Measure J Citizen Bond Oversight Committee in my capacity as outgoing chair. As noted in the report, I informed the board and Superintendent Clark that district-wide PG&E energy consumption increased by 68% between 2022 and 2024, during the period in which the ESCO contracts were under construction. Earlier this morning, I was forwarded a voicemail summarizing a meeting that you, Dr. Clark, reportedly had yesterday with a board member regarding the possibility of placing an agenda item before the board concerning district energy consumption before and after construction of a $50 million energy savings contract. According to the information relayed to me, you, Dr. Clark, stated that I was a liar, that the information I presented was gibberish, and that the board should not trust the data provided in the annual report. Dr. Clark, I have no reason to lie. In fact, a majority of the members of the Citizen Bond Oversight Committee have expressed concerns regarding the ESCO contracts since the award more than 3 years ago. Those concerns were consistently raised in good faith and fulfillment of the Oversight Committee's responsibilities. The analysis presented in the annual report was based on actual district-wide PG&E billing records obtained through a public information request and reviewed by a qualified CBOC member with the expertise necessary to analyze and interpret utility consumption data. The conclusions presented were supported by underlying records. The numbers do not lie, and neither do I. It would not take significant effort for district finance staff to independently verify the data. The difficult work of collecting, organizing, and
You
analyzing
can provide your final
has
thought.
already been complete. So if the district believes the analysis is incorrect, then I respectfully ask that the
Thank you.
administration present its own analysis
Thank you.
district-wide. PG&E
Okay, I'm
consumption
gonna have to
data
turn on the
and its
beeper.
right. Transparency, not personal tax.
Okay,
is the
thank you.
appropriate.
Okay, so now I'm gonna just go 2 minutes solid. I've been giving everybody about 2:30, but now it's being abused twice.
Jim Walsh.
Sorry, I didn't line that off.
Jim Walsh.
Good evening, board members. I'm here on behalf of John Ferrante, the former vice chair of Measure J. In regards to what Gina just said, this is from John. It's come to my attention there is some doubt about the veracity of the energy data mentioned by former chair of the Measure J CBOC at the previous meeting. This simply pure raw data is obtained from PG&E by an MD USD employee who at this time wishes to remain anonymously. If you doubt the data, I'm going to clean this up, get off your lazy butts and verify it with your own accounting department. It simply shows that there has been no energy savings, not just as promised by Schneider, but none at all. Furthermore, the solar data that used to be on the MDUSD website was purposely removed. He wants to know why. Who gave the order and what is the district trying to hide? This is a major disservice to the taxpayers of MDUSD, and any and all involved in this conspiracy needs to be dismissed. Let's set aside the arrogance and ignominy to get this problem solved. If you want the newly proposed bond to pass, stop ignoring the truth, stop accusing people of lying, and let the public have access to the solar and PG&E data so they can decide for themselves just how shady the people are being. And good luck with the new bond. That was from John. This is from me. 4 years ago, this May, I got a call from an employee in this district telling me about this $25 million LED lighting project. And I knew, because I was on Measure C for over 10 years, that that project was reviewed under Measure C. It was reviewed by Capital Engineering, who looked at it, made the calculations, and said it not only would not meet the criteria for an energy conservation contract, the return on investment was so low that that project was thrown out completely. Furthermore, for this, having been on the HVAC upgrades, were looked at under Measure C as well. Same thing. That was determined that it had to be put out to bid, which 25 sites under Measure C were.
Thank you.
Therefore, the LED lighting project was.
Is my mic on? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's time that the board members, with the exception of Mr. McDougall,
Thank
to do their
you.
job. Voters elected them to do and run this district instead of giving the control to Superintendent Clark. Over the past years, he's tried to dismiss and discredit this Measure J oversight committee.
I'm sorry, sir. We're
Now,
trying to
once
be
again,
polite and
he's
give
trying to
everybody
discredit
equal time.
Hayes.
Thank you. for coming and sharing your thoughts. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
What you should do is do
No,
your job.
you're,
Yeah, I know.
it's my
I've done
turn
it
now,
for 2
sir.
minutes.
And actually,
But you should think
this next
about what this
person,
man
this
said.
Queen,
And
please,
about it.
sir. Do you have any better luck with this name? I don't want to butcher the next
I
person's
think
name.
it's Natalie Rodriguez.
There. Natalie? Okay. She wrote it in a hurry.
Good evening to all. To the board member, Dr. Clark. My name is Natalie. My family bought a house in the boundary for a Spanish program at Bancroft Elementary. I have a first grader in the program and a TK student who has been planning to enroll in the program this coming year. I'm original from Peru, and Spanish is part of our family cultural identity. I care deeply my kids having access to the high quality, long-standing program at Bancroft. I'm devastated that the district is trying to remove it. It's hard for me to express how important it is for my children to be in a Spanish program. It's so important, but I want you to understand that I cannot split my children up and send my daughter to Woodside for kindergarten next year. That doesn't work for my family. I have to make a sad choice to enroll her in an English program at Bancroft for next year. But I'm here to request our Spanish dual immersion program at Bancroft continue next year. It's a wonderful program, and please don't end a successful program. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Elizabeth Silva?
Hi, everyone. I'm here to advocate for the district to keep the Spanish program at Bancroft Elementary. I moved to Walnut Creek for the program. Bancroft and the other programs in MDUSD that have dual immersion, is really one thing that makes the district so special. As you know, Bancroft is the longest running two-way dual immersion program in the district, and it is a high-performing program. The location of dual immersion programs matter. A school's location and where the dual immersion program is really central to its success. Opening a new program at a new school takes time to get off the ground, just like the program at Bancroft did. 12 years later, the program at Bancroft is a sought-after program that attracts many families to Mount Diablo Unified School District. There were a few statements at the last board meeting that I want to address. One is that every decision made, there's half the people that support it and half the people that think the decision is bad. I understand that for many things that is true, but there's nobody coming to this board meetings saying, like, thank you for eliminating the program at Bancroft. I know because we have been at every board meeting since January 28th. You have all received hundreds of emails. I don't need to tell you, asking you to please pause the phase out. More than 50 individuals have come again to ask you to please pause the phase out. We represent a diverse student body at Bancroft Elementary that come from all across Mount Diablo Unified School District. I haven't talked to one person that has said this program needs to be phased out immediately for incoming kindergartners with no notice. The superintendent also referred to the program at Bancroft as high performing, which I really appreciated in your last remarks. It is a high performing program. And one of the reasons that we do continue to say that is because Dr. Aguili, one of the preliminary points she raised on February 11th was that it was not a high performing program. English language learners were struggling, and that was a reason given to remove the program. We dug into the data, and it turns out that it is the highest performing dual immersion program in the district. So we love the program. We do appreciate the millions of dollars spent on dual immersion programs in Mount Diablo. We want to work with you to improve, to continue these programs.
Thank you. Okay, Kate Turnstall?
Hi, my name's Kate. I'm a Bancroft parent. I have two kids at Bancroft Elementary. We live on Boundary. We plan to go to Foothill and Northgate after Bancroft. I just want to continue on from Elizabeth's speech, where the argument was made that Bancroft is overcrowded by Dr. Aguili back in February. But she's given a presentation to the board where she's shown all the numbers at Bancroft. And there's space in every single monolingual class in the school. Every grade has space in monolingual. And in fact, Elizabeth is handing out the numbers there. The TWDI program is a lottery, so the district has direct control of the enrollment into TWDI. So the school is not actually full. Dr. Clark mentioned recently that Bancroft no longer has a STEAM program and no longer has a STEAM classroom. This is incorrect. Bancroft does have a STEAM classroom, and it is one of the most wonderful spaces in the school. It's a wonderful program. Bancroft is comparable to Walnut Acres down the road. In fact, it has fewer students on our last analysis. And Walnut Acres isn't having, classes removed. So why are we removing the TWDI program from Bancroft? The reason given is space, but this is not adding up to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Jorge Silva.
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you again. I actually want to provide a couple of updates on the advocacy efforts that are on their way to preserve the Spanish dual immersion program at Bancroft. Over the past several weeks, parents and community members have expanded conversations well beyond Walnut Creek. We have met with local and statewide candidates, educational advocates, and community organizations to ensure that they understand what is happening here and what is at stake. Last month, we presented at the Issues Committee of the Democratic Party of the Contra Costa County, and I'm proud to report that the committee voted unanimously to oppose eliminating the Spanish immersion program without first conducting a demographic impact study. They also agreed to review a broader resolution that we drafted in their upcoming May meeting. We also continued our legislative efforts in Sacramento. We're setting meetings with our local representative elected officials and their staff. We are reaching out to candidates for the state superintendent position. We have identified several that are viable candidates, that are strong proponents of dual immersion programs. We're making sure that they know what is happening here and how we need to close the Prop 58 loophole. We're also being really successful and we're sharing our information. We're also supporting AB 2332 from Assemblyman Gonzalez that aims to establish a dual immersion coordinator statewide to support the expansion of the dual immersion programs, helping California toward creating 1,600 programs and protect them. So as of March, this bill is moving to the legislature, and it has strong support from the Latino Legislative Caucus. And the last thing that I will say is dual immersion programs are great because they bring the community together. It actually opened the door for Bancroft for Latinos.
Thank you. Zoe Gonzalez.
Hi, my name is Zoe Gonzalez. Hola, mi nombre es Zoe Gonzalez. I love coming with my mommy to take my voice heard for things that are important to me. I've attended meetings to the Board of Trustees and the Board of Supervisors for Alameda County with the nurses, and I'm proud to be here at the school board meeting. I'm here today in support of the two-way dual immersion program at Bancroft Elementary School, where I'm a second grader. My little brother is in kindergarten, and my baby brother is only 2 years old. Learning Spanish has been so fun for me, and I really, really want my baby brother to be a part of the dual immersion program at Bancroft also. It's such an amazing school, and I'm sad to say that one of our wonderful teachers left after we told that the program will be ending at Bancroft. Your decision to move this program to Woodside affects me and my family, especially my baby brother. Please let's try to find a different solution. Thank you for your time. Gracias por su tiempo.
Thank you. Courtney Gonzalez, would that be mom? There we go.
Hi, my name is Courtney Gonzalez. I'm here today to speak on behalf of the TWDI program that is being phased out of Bancroft. I am a Bay Area native, born and raised in the North Bay. Spanish is the second most widely used language in this area, coming in just after English. We spoke English at home growing up, and I was only formally introduced to Spanish in middle school. After college, I spent 2 years in a rural village in Guatemala serving as a Peace Corps volunteer, and that's where I became fluent. I currently work as a nurse in the intensive care unit at a local hospital, and I use Spanish every single day. Aunque no puedo hablar perfectamente, hago lo mejor que yo puedo. Although I can't speak perfectly, I try my best. 5 years ago, we purchased our home within the boundaries of Bancroft to enroll our children in the TWDI program. The Spanish language is extremely important to me, and it's something that's very close to my heart. I have 3 children, two of whom are benefiting currently from the program, but unfortunately, my youngest is set to miss out based on this decision. The way this change was introduced was shocking. We felt blindsided, and we also felt like the decision was so final without any input from the community. I'm going to skip a little bit here. I'm here to tell my story, but there have been so many that have been hurt and affected by this, not to mention the added stress to parents who will now have to navigate multiple school drop-offs, which is already difficult at baseline. To think we might have to sacrifice the one and only year all 3 of our children will be at the same school is pretty heartbreaking. We truly believed in the mission that MDUSD is committed to ensuring high quality education for all students and providing innovative programs that prepare them for success in college, career, and life. That's what the TWDI program is for us, and clearly we're not alone. We respectfully ask you to reconsider a decision that is affecting real people, real families, and little children that it can impact the trajectory of their lives. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And Jane Enlow?
Good evening, members of the Trustees Board of Education, Dr. Clark, and community. I want to speak tonight about something that's essential to building trust in our community, transparency in our district budget. Our schools belong to the public, and the community has a right to clearly understand how decisions are made and where taxpayer dollars go. Right now, however, and I've tried to do this for a long time before I found it, finding the district budget on the website is really hard. Important financial documents are buried under multiple links, difficult to navigate, and often written in ways that are not acceptable to the average parent or community member. Transparency is not just technically posting information online. Transparency means making information easy to find, understand, and access. If we want families, staff, and community members to trust district leadership, we must communicate openly and clearly. When people cannot easily locate the budget, it creates frustration and confusion. It can also unintentionally give the impression that information is being hidden, even when that is not the intent. I encourage the board to prioritize a more user-friendly budget section on the district website. This could include a clearly labeled district budget tab on the homepage, simplified summaries of major spending categories, timelines for budget decisions, and easy access to presentations and supporting documents. Good communication builds confidence. Clear communication builds a partnership, and transparency builds trust. As we continue to make important financial decisions that affect students, staff, and families, we must engage the public. We must ensure the public can follow and understand the process. Our community wants to be engaged and informed. Let's make it easier for them to do that. Thank you.
That's the end of our public comment. Before you leave, though, I want to say this meeting that we have, and this month, it's only one meeting because of all the graduations going. This is the time for the district to take care of their business, and there's a lot of business. And why I value public comment more than anybody else, and I will tell the Bancroft group, you've been very polite, you've stayed within the time limit, but there's a time limit on the meetings because we have other things to do, and we can't be here all night long. That's why sometimes you get 3 minutes, that's sometimes we lower. It's 30 minutes of public comment. If we wanted, we could let only 10 people speak, use up the whole 30 minutes, and then make the rest of you wait till the end of the meeting. Or what some other districts are doing nowadays with a lot of contention is they just put public comment at the end of the meeting, which I would never do because that's not playing fair. But unfortunately, the people that need to hear this left, we will always respect you. We always hear you. We value what you say. We weigh your comments. But this is also our time to do business, not just to get public comment. And the only last thing I will say is the public comment we get is not only said in this room. We get a lot of emails. And sometimes if somebody has a different opinion than a lot of people that are coming here, they feel more comfortable sharing it over email rather than coming here and speaking out. So I thank you for loving your children, standing up for your children, and we're going to give you a little time to move out, and then we're going to go on with our meeting, and we hope you have a good evening. Thank you.
Yeah, Linda Ortega.
Okay. Communications, district organizations. We have a card from Linda Ortega.
Thank you. So good evening, President Mason, trustees, Dr. Clark, members of the audience. For those new in the audience, my name is Linda Ortega. I am the president of the Mount Diablo Education Association, or MEDIA. I represent about 1,600 MEDIA bargaining unit members, such as, and I have a list right off our contract, our freshly printed, well, about to be printed contract. So I represent all the temporary, probationary, and permanent certificated employees in these positions: and audiologists, classroom teachers, TK to 12, library media teachers, nurses, peer coaches, teacher induction support program mentors, program enrichment personnel, reading specialists, resource specialists, speech therapists, teachers in special education programs, teachers on special assignment, traveling teachers, work experience education staff, home and hospital teachers, counselors, enrichment and support teachers, intervention and instructional support teachers, coach specialist teachers, full inclusion specialists, assistive technology specialists, argumentative and alternative communication coach, adaptive PE teachers, instructional music teachers, elementary general music teachers, EL support teachers, teachers of visually impaired, preschool teachers, dual language teachers, workability program teachers, orientation and mobility specialists, deaf and hard and hearing teachers, independent study teachers, virtual learning program teachers, alternative education teachers, and we just now added adult educators and coordinators to our list. So that is the reason why I read it, because I wanted everybody to understand MEDIA represents a huge range of educators who directly support our students or in a different level. So we, as Dr. Clark and all of you have said, we are here to support our students at every different level. So with this new position, I am pleased to announce that both MEDIA and the district have signed a tentative agreement for adult educators. I appreciate both parties in spending the time in negotiations, and because I know those negotiations, I've been in those rooms, and I've been in that marathon one that was over 24 hours, and for the special board, and of course, thank you to the school board for listening to our adult educators and students when they spoke during these meetings. For those who were unaware, this is a historical event. Since our adult educators have never been part of a union, and now we are here that both parties have signed a TA. However, next, we have to ratify the TA. So my MEDIA members will be voting to ratify the TA in the coming weeks, as the trustees will also be voting to approve the agreement, hopefully next month. This should be a smooth process as we all have been here before. On another note, I can't believe that another school year is coming to an end. As an elementary school teacher for many years, I would always list how many days we've been in school. You know, when you go into an elementary school, they always have leading up to the 100th day of school, and we would celebrate that with activities. Then, once that flipped, as a class, we would start counting down to the end of the school year. According to my count, as of today, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, we have 13 days left. Is that true? Every year when I was yeah. Okay. Every year, I was always amazed at how much we covered in the course of one school year. I was always so proud of my students and their accomplishments, and yet it was always a bittersweet feeling that my students would be moving on to the next level. These are the joys of teaching, seeing my students progress and then move on. And I still miss that. When I was in the classroom, I just enjoy seeing them move on. Finally, I want to congratulate all the high school seniors who are graduating this year and to all our students who are moving to the next grade level. I know your teachers are so very proud of you, and we all wish you a safe and restful summer break. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 10.2, review and potential approval of resolution 25/2675, classified employees in week May 17th through May 23rd, 2026.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. And I'll be brief on this since we just spent a considerable amount of time in recognizing our classified employees. But whereas classified school employees provide valuable services to the schools, students, teachers, administrators, and other staff of the Mount Diablo Unified School District, as well as the general public. So now, therefore, be it resolved, the governing board of the Mount Diablo Unified School District hereby recognizes and wishes to honor the contributions of classified school employees to quality education in the state of California and in the Mount Diablo Unified School District, and declares the week of May 17th to the 23rd as Classified School Employees Week. Madam President, I leave this resolution in the hands of the board.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve resolution 25/2675, Classified School Employees Week.
I'm going to second it because I was a CSEA member for a lot of years. Okay, so we have a motion by trustee Nzewi, a second by trustee Mason. I still have my t-shirts, by the way, too. And that passes 5-0-0. Okay, Dr. Clark, I'm just going to let you run with the.
Yeah, I'm very happy tonight to bring resolution 25/26-76. And I really wish we lived in a time when I wouldn't have to do a resolution like this, but because of ignorance, hate, and bigotry, we need to. And so we are recognizing June as LGBTQ+ Pride Month. Whereas June is a time to celebrate our dynamic LGBTQ+ community, raise awareness of quality services, and foster a dialogue to promote healthy, safe, and prosperous school climates and communities for all. Whereas all children and youth should be able to attend school in a safe and inclusive environment, free of discrimination, and civil rights laws contribute to such environments. And whereas California Education Code 220 requires that all programs, activities, employment practices should be conducted without discrimination based on actual or perceived sex, sexual orientation, or gender identity and expression. It provides that public schools have an affirmative obligation to combat sexism and other forms of bias and responsibility to provide equal educational opportunities to all students. Both state law and district policies protect transgender students from discrimination. I could go on, but I will spare you all. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mount Diablo Unified School District recognizes the month of June 2026 as LGBTQ+ LGBTQ plus Pride Month to inspire equity, create alliances, celebrate diversity, and maintain a safe environment in our schools and community. And be it further resolved that this resolution be distributed to every school in the district. Madam President, I leave this resolution in the hands of the board.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion.
Madam President, it is with great pride that I move to adopt Resolution 25/26, number 76, June as LGBTQ plus Pride Month.
Second. Motion by trustee Mayo, second by trustee Lawrence. We'll now vote.
Can I make some comments?
Yes, sir.
We've had this proclamation a couple times since I've been on the board, and I just want to bring up a couple of points. The LGBTQ acronym, the T part is, in my mind, not for promotion to anyone under 18. Decisions for surgery or puberty blockers should not be made in one's youth. There is no scientific evidence backing those things up. Many countries outside the US have prohibited gender-affirming care, and the USA refuses to realize these dangers. On the LG part of LGBTQ, I find that this is many LG leaders have proclaimed in the past and recently their desire to stop nuclear families or to destroy them. This is one man, one woman with children. And so nuclear families have been what makes a society strong. And it has ever since the creation of the world. Finally, we need not honor this proclamation because basically it's promoting sex to our students. It is a distraction from our main job of teaching students to read, write, and do math. And for too many years, we have failed at this task. Thank you.
Can I make a comment? Thank you. So for now, 2 years in a row, plus some other times, I think for October, I can't remember what October is, history, LGBTQ History Month. When we come to serve on this board, we serve everyone in this community, and it's really hard for me to hear and maddening and sad to hear from this dais someone who is really speaking against children in our district, the students we serve, the staff in our district, the families in our district, and our community. And I know, especially when I see the faces in the responses, like I don't even hide my face, but neither do you all. When we hear these words, I know that these words don't reflect the majority of our community. I know that they, them is not a threat to anyone. I know that someone who is transgendered or lesbian or gay, I'll say the words bisexual. Did I get them questioning queer? Sorry. That they are people, they are human beings with full humanity, that it's our duty to recognize their entire and full humanity. People thrive and raised in a variety of families, the nuclear sometimes being extremely harmful. Some people were raised in really nuclear families, really nuclear families, and are really traumatized. And many people are raised in families that are not part of what some people think is the right way, and grow up and become governor or president of these United States, or are lawyers or doctors or teachers. They run the gamut. So I will always speak up when these words come from this dais, because I can't let our community think, although we had very strong resolution. I can't let people think that it's okay. Truth be told, my husband's like, you should just stop because it's not necessary because we're not in the minority here. And this board is always going to support this resolution. But I can't let, like, if I have no idea if there's any student watching, but I especially can't let our children think that we can just let these words come unchecked when they're wrong, they're false, they're just not based in fact or reality or morality, I would argue. So with that, I haven't pressed my yes. Sorry, y'all.
That's all right.
I totally vote for this always and forever.
So I thank you for your eloquent comments. When I first came on the board, people did not feel comfortable throughout our district sharing their authentic identity. And in 2002, the Board of Education voted to provide benefits, health benefits to registered same-sex partners. For me, that was a major step forward in the Mount Diablo School District in supporting individuals throughout our community who provide service to our students and families. We have many educators and classified employees who need the right to express their authentic identity. And I value them and I love them. And I also want to thank my own family for valuing and recognizing my family members who needed to express their authentic identity. There are so many things that have been provided to our global society from individuals with different identities. And we need to recognize them and acknowledge them and thank them, whether it's the medical profession, the educational profession, the art profession, and many others. So for these reasons, I will support this resolution and I always will. You are safe with me.
I think my fellow board members have said it very well. And I would just say that to me, one of the things that makes this a district I'm so proud to be a part of is the fact that we welcome all people of different backgrounds and that we will continue to stand for welcoming them.
Okay. Just waiting for the vote. And no surprise there. 4-1. In favor of. Okay. So next one, Dr. Clark.
I move to approve Resolution 2526-78, authorizing submission of applications for the Bay Area Air District Local Community Benefits Fund Competitive Grant Program.
I'll second that.
Oh, excuse me.
So we have a motion by Trustee Nzewi, and I don't know who beat on the second on from Trustee McDougal. Okay. And that passes 5-0. Okay.
Thank you,
One more,
Madam
Dr.
President. Last resolution, Resolution 25/26-79, in recognition of May as Mental Health Awareness Month. And just, we have a lot of young people and there's older people who suffer from mental health issues. And part of the reasons why we do these resolutions is to let people that, let people know that this is a safe space and that we can talk about these things. And Mount Diablo is heavily invested into helping take the stigma away from mental health and also provide support and resources for those who are suffering from mental health. So, whereas Mental Health Awareness Month observed each May is dedicated to raising awareness, reducing stigma, and promoting equitable access to mental health resources and services for all individuals. And so be it finally resolved that the governing board encourages students, families, staff, and the community to engage in activities and practices that support mental health and well-being. Madam President, I leave this resolution in the hands of the board.
Thank you.
Madam President, I move the board approve Resolution 25-26, number 79, in recognition of May as Mental Health Awareness Month.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Mayo, a second by trustee Nzewi. The green, there we go. Finally took, I think. Is now yours showing it? I just kept pushing on the green and finally did it. Took me about 4 pushes. I think, did it, not yet.
It looks like it went through.
Yep, there we go. Okay, 500.
I'll tell you how you voted.
Computers, yeah, it shows up here sooner. Computers are acting weird tonight. Okay. 11:00. Yes, sir.
May I say something?
Absolutely.
One, I would say that the mental health resolution, I actually believe it's very closely tied with the one previous to that, that when you look at the incidence of suicide and depression for some of our most vulnerable youth, the impacts of that, and I think that matters. I say this as someone who has had this very directly impact my family. And I think it really matters. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Public employees appointment. Who's going to
Yes.
handle that for us, Dr. Clark?
We have Dr. Emmendorfer is going to handle our first one here.
Good evening, Madam President, Trustees, Superintendent Clark. Tonight, the Human Resources Department is bringing for the board's review and potential approval the appointment of Nicole Kitchen as the principal of elementary site to be determined. Nicole began her teaching career at John Muir Elementary School in Martinez Unified School District, where she taught for 14 years. She then taught for 5 years at Grattan Elementary School in Antioch Unified School District, where she then served as vice principal for the last 4 years. Nicole earned her Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies from California State University, Hayward, and her multiple subject teaching credential, Master's in Teaching Leadership, and Administrative credential from St. Mary's College of California in Moraga. Nicole enjoys spending time with her husband, 2 children who attend College Park High School, and her extended family and friends. Her family can be found playing board games, watching movies, hiking, and traveling. She is proud to be an active member of the Mount Diablo Unified School District community and enjoys participating in as many community events as possible. Nicole feels incredibly grateful to have dedicated her career to education and is excited about the opportunity to serve as an elementary school principal in Mount Diablo Unified School District. With that, I leave this appointment in the hands of the board.
Madam President, I move that the board approve the appointment of Nicole Kitchen as a principal for an elementary school site to be determined.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Mayo, a second by trustee McDougal. That one fast.
All right.
500, approval.
Good evening, Superintendent Clark and fellow board members. I am so happy to join the Mount Diablo's Unified School District as an elementary principal for the upcoming school year. My heart belongs to Mount Diablo. We've been a part of Mount Diablo ever since my children started at Hidden Valley. My son Dylan is a senior at College Park. And yeah, he's in the back row. And then I have my daughter who's a freshman at College Park. So there she is. Yeah. And I have my husband and my sister-in-law also. So I'm just really happy. I feel like this is a full circle moment for me. And I'm just excited. I'm really passionate about serving children in all capacities. And so I welcome this opportunity. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you.
Next, the Human Resources Department is bringing for the board's review and potential approval the appointment of Adria Ibarra as the principal of elementary school site to be determined. Adria's career in education began with 15 years in elementary classroom, serving as kindergarten and first grade teacher in the Boston metro area. When she returned to California, Adria shifted to middle school as a sixth grade core teacher. As a middle school assistant principal, Adria has been recognized for her dedication to strengthening student learning and engagement. Through data-informed practices and strong collaboration with staff and families, she helped her school make significant academic gains. Adria earned her Bachelor of Arts in Human Biodynamics from UC Berkeley, Master's in Elementary Education from Lesley University, Cambridge, Massachusetts, and Administrative Services credential from California State University, East Bay. Adria resides with her husband and 2 children in Danville. In her spare time, Adria enjoys traveling, baking, and gardening. She also is an avid Disneyland fan. With that, I leave this appointment in the hands of the board.
Madam President, I move the board appoint Adria Ibarra as the principal at an elementary school site to be determined.
Second.
Good evening, Dr. Clark, Madam President, and trustees. Thank you so much for this opportunity to join the Mount Diablo Unified School District. I am looking forward to collaborating with our staff, our families, and colleagues to ensure a nurturing environment that challenges our students and also sparks curiosity for them. Again, thank you so much. I'm grateful and excited for this opportunity.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Clark. Good evening, Madam President, Superintendent, trustees. The Human Resources Department is bringing for the board's review and potential approval the appointment of Amanda Lucian as the principal of Ignacio Valley High School. As a leader, Amanda's mission is to empower the YVHS community by fostering an environment where every student, parent, and staff feel welcome and students achieve academic success. Amanda earned her bachelor's in science from Iowa State University and her master's in educational leadership. Amanda is a daughter of 2 retired educators. Her dad, Pat Lucian, retired from Riverview Middle School. Amanda's daughter, Liana, is a sophomore at Northgate High School, and her son, David, is at Foothill Middle School. Amanda sees her family as an MDUSD family. She is looking forward to serving as principal at YV, and she feels at home there. With that, I leave this appointment in the hands of the board.
Madam President, I move that the board approve Amanda Lucian as permanent principal at Ignacio Valley High School.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Lawrence, a second by trustee McDougall.
Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Clark, Board Trustees. I am so very thankful and honored for this opportunity. And I'm just to lead, guide, and inspire my community. We've already done some great work as interim. I want to recognize my family. I couldn't do this without them, my mom, my dad, and my kids. And I really am touched and honored and very, very thankful. So thank you.
If I could, I just wanted to say really quickly, I've had the opportunity to visit Ignacio Valley several times during the course of this school year, and I think that there's been a transformation over the course of the year. The energy and excitement was palpable, and I do think that Ignacio Valley High School is one of the hidden gems in our school district, and I think as we share the amazing things that are happening over there, it's just an opportunity for us to educate our community as to the many great things that are happening there. And I look forward to seeing what happens over the next few years.
Good evening again. The Human Resources Department is bringing for the board's review and potential approval the appointment of Charles Harrington Jr. as the principal of Prospect Continuation High School and Horizon Center for Independent Study. Originally from Tennessee, Charles moved to California in 2002 and started his career as a special education teacher in Oakland Unified School District before transitioning into leadership and administration a decade later. This is Charles' 24th year as an educator. Outside of work, Charles enjoys time with his children, reading, writing, and caring for his plants. With that, I leave this appointment in the hands of the board.
Thank you.
Madam President, I move the board appoint Charles Harrington Jr. as principal at Prospect Continuation High School and Horizons Center for Independent Study.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Mayo, a second by trustee Nzewi.
President Mason, Superintendent Clark, Board. I first wanted to acknowledge my appreciation for you guys. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm happy to be here. This is my 4th year in this district. I'm happy to call MD USD home. Secondly, I want to give out some thanks to my parents who are still in Tennessee, where I grew up, my siblings, they're watching. I'm thankful for my staff at Prospect Horizons. They've been great, they've been supportive, and we've worked very hard to do everything we can for our students. Along with that, I want to acknowledge a focus. LCAP goal number 1, the first 2 words says all students. And I think in order to support our students, there's many ways to do so, but the only way, well, one of the ways that we can support our students is through alternative education. And I'm always excited when I hear Dr. Clark say all students, and I'm happy to be a part of that vision, and I'm happy again. Thank you.
All right, we're going to excuse all of our new appointees. Congratulations to you all.
We did 12.1 at the beginning, right, Dr.
Yeah.
Clark? Okay, so we're going on to 12.2, College and Career Readiness Update, California Colleges Guidance Initiative and Mount Unified School District implementation of californiacolleges.edu to support college and career exploration and preparation.
It's a mouthful, huh? Good evening, President Mayo, Superintendent Dr. Clark, and board trustees. Thank you so much for allowing us to present, and we'll try and do it quickly. The work that we've been doing over this past year to implement the californiacolleges.edu platform to support college and career exploration. The work that we've been doing, I want to recognize, we've been working closely with the Department of Strategic Support headed by Linda Pete and Pedro Arroyo in designing the lessons and working with our counselors. So I'm gonna use this. All right. I don't need to repeat all the LCAP goals, but this really continues to guide the work that we do within the Department of College and Career Readiness, because as Principal Harrington just said, it says all students, we're going to graduate them college and career ready. So you guys know the work that I've been doing over the last 10 years in our CTE world. But that is a very small percentage of our students, and it leaves a lot of students out in the cold when we talk about preparing kids for college and career readiness. So I'm excited that we are starting to expand beyond the CTE world in the work that we're doing. And then also this framework, so college and career readiness is the foundation of equity work that we're doing in the district, making sure that all students have access to the CTE classes as well as the college and career readiness. And college and career readiness cannot be limited to just college. It has to include career. Oops, sorry. All right, so just quickly, just to provide some context to the californiacolleges.edu. It is part of the California College Guidance Initiative. So we, in our world, we call it CCGI. So the work that we're doing is to support CCGI implementation across the district. For years, Mount Diablo Unified was a Naviance district, which we paid for. I want to say the contract ran us about $250 for, I think, 2 to 3 years. California Colleges is free. So right there, that should make everyone happy, right? But really, it's this idea that the state has promoted that we have to do more to promote college and career readiness from the cradle to career. And so California Colleges was built out of this initiative as the platform that the state is supporting to support college and career exploration. And so it starts, this is the other really good thing about this platform, is it starts in 6th grade, whereas Naviance was not usable for students before high school. So this, we can start doing the work at an earlier age, which we all know is super important. If there's also parent and education resources available to support parent involvement. Parents can sign up for their own account. They can't go in and do the things, but they can see what their students are doing within the account. So we're really excited to do this. And I will say, I was saying to someone, I'm a little competitive. I like to say we are a leader in this region in the work that we're doing with California colleges. So we are working closely with the state, and they are following our lead in how we are implementing this. So through this platform, students are able to take interest and value assessments so that they can learn more about themselves and their interests, because that should really guide them in choosing future careers. We don't want students going into a career that they're not interested in. So, and as Amanda, my amazing team member, is going to talk about, that happens down in the middle school level. They can also monitor their academic progress and their A through G completion. So we know that A through G, they need to complete those courses in order to even be eligible to apply to college. So even if a kid is thinking, I'm not going to college, we want them to be eligible so they have options when they graduate from high school. They can also find and research careers, colleges, and or training programs. So Naviance did not necessarily include those training programs. California Colleges does. They can learn about their financial aid options. And this next piece is super important for us. We can track the college applications that are being launched, and we can track the financial aid applications that are being launched. So it's going to make it much easier once we get everyone on board to actually launch their applications through the system. But the system feeds into the application, so students don't have to go in and manually enter their courses into their college applications. It automatically is going to feed it into those applications. And then as the students, as we move into this idea of guaranteed admission for students who are qualified, they're going to pull that data from CCGI. So that's why it's really important that we work on students on using this platform. Students can also set goals and make plans for their future. As Amanda's going to talk about, there's a life plan that we ask students to complete. My goal before I retire, which is not that far off. And in my mind, it's not too far off. Got to get the kid through college first. But my goal is that every student graduate from high school with a plan of what their next steps are, right? We know that students are not going to, that the trajectory is not a straight line. But if they have a plan for what that next step is, they're far more likely to at least move forward. That's what we want, move forward. And then they can save important documents like resumes, their letters of recommendation and things like that. So in terms of our implementation, this school year is our second year of access to the platform. We had to sign a partnership agreement and go through all the legalese that goes into that. But this is really our first year of full implementation. All 6th through 12th graders have access to californiacolleges.edu. And then we were so excited this year, we got the single sign-on aspect. So they could go into the ClassLink page on the website, and they can easily access the program through ClassLink. So that was a game changer, and they don't have to remember a password. All right, so in terms of what we've done to support the implementation of CCGI is we tabled at all of the high school open back to school nights and open houses. We hosted a parent information night in September. We presented information to the workability team because this is a tool that should be used by all students. We presented to the focal scholar team in September. We tabled at the college fair that YV held in October. We also in October presented to case managers to support SPED students accessing this platform. And then we presented to CTE teachers about the platform. We also were fortunate enough to be chosen to present at the state CTE conference in Palm Springs. So that was with Amanda and also Anna Ramos. We host monthly CCGI implementation meetings with strategic support team and our counselors. And then we are working on implementation of CCGI at our alt ed sites. They can't follow the same scope and sequence that we've created. So that's the work that we're doing. And so what came out of our work in last year was we created a tier 1 scope and sequence. And that my intent with this, and Linda and Pedro and Amanda were all on the same page, is that this is like the bare minimum of access that students should get to CCGI. We found out in looking at the data from Naviance that the career tools of Naviance were not used hardly at all. And it really was just used by students who were applying to colleges. So we wanted to make sure that at a bare minimum, all students are accessing just like the most basic information that they can get out of CCGI. So from this tier 1 scope and sequence, I know it's really small, but the blue lessons are our college and career lessons. The green lessons are SEL lessons. So we wanted to embed the CCGI into the work the counselors are doing it. And part of the reasoning for that was that this is work that they're probably already doing, where we're just formalizing it and we're implementing the use of a tool to help make this process go better. So, so the blue is where CCGI lives. So again, we start in 6th grade and then we go all the way through 12th grade. We've got lessons that the counselors are doing and also lessons that college and career advisors are doing. So now I'm going to turn it over to my amazing colleague, Amanda Witzak. She's a career pathways counselor and she's really leading the effort in the implementation of CCGI.
Good evening. Thank you for sharing your time with us this evening. So we get to go into the data. Right we have on the screen here are the tools that we use, a quick snapshot of the tools we use this year in California colleges. So our sixth through eighth grade students all took a career interest inventory, which was a series of 20 or so questions that after students completed generated a list of careers based on how they answered those questions. And this is part of our exploration for our middle school students. Next year, we're hoping to expand on the type of lessons that the students are receiving. One of my favorite features of California colleges is the career exploration page, because there's several different ways that students can search careers. So they can base it on education level, they can base it on industry sector. So it's just a great starting point for our students. Our high school counselors delivered lessons for our ninth graders using the academic planner in California colleges, which is pictured at the bottom of the screen. Our 10th graders received a lesson on SMART goals, how to set a SMART goal. And then our 11th graders received a lesson on how to use the life planner. Our college and career advisors pushed in, and you can see did a lot of lessons with our students throughout this year, and they focused heavily on the skills assessments. So to make sure that our students are aware of the type of careers that align with some of their interests. And then once we get into 11th and 12th grade, we're looking at more college career planning. And then they work with our students to launch their financial aid applications as well as college applications through the platform. So here's just a quick snapshot of some of the data from our middle school students. So we have compiled a list of the top 3 careers at each middle school based on how they responded on their interest inventory. So we have a lot of aspiring actors and lawyers in the district, but it's just really wonderful information for us to see and that we can use as we kind of tailor more information or lessons to our students. One, you can't read this, so I'm going to read it for you. So all of these lessons in the scope and sequence have pre and post tests that were created that students launched through Renaissance, which is another single sign-on. And that was just a way for us to capture some more data and information. So one of the post-test questions was asking, using California colleges has helped me find additional careers that I might have not considered before. And we saw a huge increase in agreement with that. So a large growth. And that's really the point for middle school, is that we want to expand that career exploration. Once we get into the high school data, again, at the very bottom, we have our top 3 careers at each of our comprehensive high schools. Again, a lot of aspiring lawyers and doctors. To the very far left, we have our fall 2025 tool usage. This is not indicative of how many students received this lesson, but how many students were using the tool and the platform. So it has provided us some areas of growth. We have the highest usage in our academic planner. So that's where students got on the platform and they can plan out their 4 years in high school. This also links to A through G completion. So students are able to see throughout their 4 years if they're A through G aligned, and if they are then able to apply to a CSU or UC school. We have some areas of growth for our SMART goal for 10th grade and our 11th grade. And that's based on how we introduce the tool and time length of our presentation. So we're using that to review our lessons for next school year. But we did see a large growth for students in our 9th grade lesson who know A through G requirements. So part of the presentation was making sure the students are aware of expectations and where they go in high school for questions, but also how they can be successful. And knowing A through G requirements is one of them. We saw a great increase in our pre and post tests, which was wonderful to see. We are lucky enough to also receive some data from our partner with California colleges. So this is district-wide data that they provided us. And this just shows, we have a few slides that show some of the great information that we can pull from this platform. So what we have here is students who are on track for UC and CSU applications. Why this is important is we're able to pull per grade level, and each site can do this, to monitor students A through G completion. Not only are you able to monitor their status, but you can follow up if they have applied to any of these schools. So it's another really great data point for our counselors and college and career advisors to use while they follow up with students as they're considering their post-secondary plans. Some other interesting data, as Dr. Fontanella had mentioned, is we are able to track students who have launched and or submitted applications to our California school system. So this would be California community colleges, UCs, and Cal State schools, as well as financial aid. What is important for us is that we can see who has launched, and if they have not submitted, especially for our financial aid, that we can follow up with them. This is also not indicative of all the students in our district this year who have applied to CSU's, UC's, California Community Colleges, since this is the second year that we're implementing the platform. So we're hoping as we continue to implement that we are funneling more and more students to apply, because that's great data for us, but it also allows us to follow up with students as they're planning. The last slide we have provided by California Colleges is our favorited colleges, majors, and careers for the district. To the far left, we have how many students are selecting their favorite colleges, careers, and majors. And we would anticipate what we see here is the top three are our middle school students. So that's heavy in careers, which makes sense because that's what we did the lesson on. And then as they go through high school, they're moving more towards colleges and majors. But it does provide us an area of growth as we're looking at students should hopefully be connecting the careers that they're interested in with the colleges or training programs that offer that and majors. So we're hoping to grow that as well. But for the district, our top three careers are lawyers, actors, musicians, and singers, which is wonderful. And then our top three colleges, DVC, who's a very large partner of ours, is number one for favorited colleges, followed by UC Berkeley and UC Davis. And for majors, as I said, we're hoping to grow this, but we have psychology as our top major, followed by zoology and then wildlife biology. So again, just really interesting data that we can use while we look at pathways, how to support students, career days, and so on. So what's to come for 26-27? We are in the process right now of continuing to revise our Tier 1 lessons. And we're using this data and feedback that we've received from our counselors, our college and career advisors, as we're looking at lessons and what we're hoping to teach next year. We are also working on a framework for teachers that incorporate tools for California colleges so they're able to use it to support students for their college and career exploration in the classroom, but also so we're not duplicating the lessons that are happening from our counselors and college and career advisors. Hoping to continue our collaboration and education with our district teams, and then also expand our parent and guardian education opportunities. Thank you so much. Any questions?
Do you have any questions for us?
All right, just ask a clarifying question. How you know that students launched or applied to CSU or UC, is that because the systems talk to each other?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
They go through the platform and it connects them to the application.
But what if they didn't access the application from the
We can't, then we don't know.
Oh, so
Our hope is that more students are using the platform to apply. If they launched it at home, let's say, they can always go back through the platform and link it, and it will show up on our reporting. But if they don't, then there isn't a way for us to follow up.
So the numbers on the slide
Are what we have
are what you
reported.
know.
Correct.
Right. Okay. So you don't know that my child applied.
Correct.
Yeah, no.
I'm just pretty certain I've never heard of this, so I'm just pretty certain that she probably didn't use it. I know she didn't use it to apply, but did she go back and take a second step to let you know? No.
So that's an area of growth, right? Like we know that we have to work with our team to get the word out that this is how you should go in, because it makes it so much easier and less likely to make a mistake that can become monumental. So that's really kind of our goal.
So do you see the actual application, or is it just a notice that the application was launched and then submitted?
Launched and submitted. So we're not able to see if the student was accepted or not either. But it is a data point for our staff, our colleagues, to follow up with students. So let's say it's launched, but it wasn't submitted, that they can find out why.
Right. And there are some that probably would want confidentiality versus having someone looking at their application.
Correct.
I write a better application than my friend, so to speak. What are the parent tools like?
So the parent tools, there's a ton of information for both parents and students. There's financial aid lessons for families, but it also, parents are able to access the career exploration as well. They're able to see what their students working on. So they can see the results from some of the assessments students can take. They can see the applications that are launched. They just can't edit anything in their student account.
Have we had any presentations before the various parent clubs other than your tabling?
We did do a parent information night back in September, but we've not presented to like PAC or ELAC or anything like that. No.
Or PTAs and PFPs.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. It's exciting to me. I'm hoping that it's beneficial for families that can afford a college counselor. They can encourage their student. There's a tool that they can look at and be involved with their student to a certain degree. Some students don't want that nosy mom helicoptering when they're trying for their applications.
Well, and it's interesting because when my daughter was doing her college applications, I was like, well, you can just go into CCGI and launch it. She goes, what? Because her district is not following it. They're like the only district in the region that has chosen not to sign that partnership agreement. So, but I was like, this is so easy. Just go in and launch it. And I just kept saying launch it. And it was like the episode of Schitt's Creek where she's folding the cheese. I just kept saying that to her. And she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Mom. So she's like, I'm dumb. So,
well, I'm also excited to see that the students can explore careers 6 through 8. They can determine where their interests might lie. And that was something that I experienced in a very small rural school in Oklahoma when I was in that particular age group, and never had that experience again in Texas or California. And I just think it's very amazing to help students identify themselves and find their favorites.
Just embedding it into these tier 1, right, lessons is the idea is that every student's going to at least start the exploration process while they're in middle school. So
thank you. Exciting.
I think it's great to see it at that middle school stage, and then we have very strong representation on this dais and in this audience of parents of high school seniors. And my personal experience was it was a bit of a black box, and trying to get information from said high school senior was incredibly challenging. I really only knew she had actually applied because I saw, the Common App makes it incredibly easy to apply to a whole bunch of schools, but you still have to pay for all of them. And so I did see that hit, but I just think the transparency around this and that this gives a new level of access to students. So it's great to hear. So thank you.
it does not currently support the Common App. I think that's an area that they're looking into, but currently, if you're doing the Common App, you do have to go in and do the individual applications. So,
well, I think it's amazing because here we have a tool that the student can use themselves, but then we also have our staff at the high schools that can support them while they're doing their college applications and pursuing different things. So it's a great collaboration.
All right.
Good job, Heather and staff, and Amanda, Anna. You guys do a good job, and I just want to compliment you on this. The most recent one, the Campus to Commerce, very successful. And I just want to really, like the rest of us have said, so glad to see the emphasis moving down from the high schools to the middle schools, because that's really where we got to start directing kids. And I think you're doing a good job on this. I'm glad to see your story on this. And I think the more we can influence the kids to start thinking about it earlier, the better off we're going to be in directing them and helping them where they need to go. So good job.
Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Before we go to 13.0, I'd like to make a motion to move the superintendent's report to 13.0 and trade places with the board members, because we have special guests in the audience that Dr. Clark will honor during his report, and they make good jollof rice, even though it's Ghana.
Okay. I thought.
So someone has to second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to change the order of our agenda and put the superintendent report before board member reports. We have a motion by trustee Nzewi. We have a second by trustee Lawrence. We'll now vote on it. Did I talk enough to give you time to change? Keep talking.
Voice vote. I
Okay,
think voice
vote. Okay. Trustee McDougal.
Yes.
Trustee Lawrence?
Yes.
Trustee Nzewi?
Yes.
Trustee Mayo?
Yes.
Trustee Mason is yes as well. Okay. Take it away, Dr. Clark.
Last week we did the Willie Mims Awards, and just a little brief history on Willie Mims. Willie Mims was the NAACP educational chair for Contra Costa County, and he was a strong advocate for all students, but his work really led him to advocating for African American students, and he came out to many districts. You know, I met him when I first became an assistant superintendent, and he came to meet with me about the treatment of African American students in a district in Far East County, Contra Costa County. And I know that Willie has been here in Mount Diablo to also advocate for African American students here in the Mount Diablo district. So last week we held our Willie Mims Excellence Awards, and we at the district, we failed to invite several students to come and be recognized for their achievements, and so we were able to arrange for them to come tonight. I see this as very important. I'm really thankful and appreciative of the board for allowing this as a priority, and it is in our LCAP goals. And so I have a couple of students here tonight that I want to call up and recognize for their good work. And I do just want to give a public apology for missing them the first time, but then also having them wait till 8:30 tonight. I should have moved my report up earlier in the agenda, but I didn't think it was going to be such a raucous meeting. So,
Do you have like a DJ to play music in the background, like Dr. Francis?
so these students are out of Valley View Middle School, and the first student that we would like to recognize for top GPA is Zeta Anaman. Can you please come up here and be recognized? And our next student who we would like to recognize, and she's it's always so nice to see her because she's kind of grown up around us here in this district, but we are very proud of her, and I just have to give give her parents just all the credit. They do such a good job. But this young lady is excellent, top GPA, Anaya Pete. And I do not want to, I'm going to talk about this in my report, and I will just go to the next slide, is you see a packed house, and this is only half the gym. This type of recognition matters. Far too often, African-American students and African-American people, and you can see what's going on in our political world right now, we are highly discriminated against at all levels. And when you have a packed house like this, and you have these parents here tonight who have been sitting through this meeting for 2.5 hours to have their students be recognized in this way, because often our students of color and our African-American students are not recognized, and they deserve this recognition. They have top GPAs in their schools and respected classes. And at our awards night, it was a very diverse crowd, but they were there. They understood, and you could just feel the pride within the evening. And so I know Trustee Mason, I know you were there, and I know others had conflicts, but this is one of the truly special nights in our district, and I'm honored to be able to oversee that and lead that. So I want to thank this family for sitting through this. I want to allow you guys to go now as I go into my report, and thank you again so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, this was nice for some of the other board members to get
Yes,
a little of that.
yes,
We got
yes.
that. So that was good.
So, we're always grounded in our LCAP goals, and I think, we've heard that several times tonight about all students, and I can go on and on, but again, it is critical that we name our students, we name our schools, we name our areas of growth that we want to see. And so we have our CCE triangle here. Right now, we're going through CASP assessments, and we have been pushing hard in this area. Our staffs and administrators have been leading this work. Our teachers are teaching. Our support staffs are supporting, and we really want to give our students the very, very best opportunity to demonstrate what they know in terms of grade level standards. And so students in grades 3 through 8 and grade 11 take the Smarter Balance assessments. What are they being tested on? They're being tested on English, language arts, and math. There's also a science test to it, but it's the test. It's this new type of assessments where the more questions you get right, the harder the test gets. And when you misanswer questions, the easier it gets. But all of that is weighted scores, and so that all comes out in the score. So and then also it includes a real world project to show what they've learned. They have to apply that. When do we give this exam? We have a window of 25 instructional days. And the window is January to June, so January 20th to June 30th. So we have already started. Many of our schools are getting ready to wrap up and probably just do makeups, but it is an important time, and I really want to thank our parents for getting their students to school on time and for taking this serious, and of course the staff and everyone else who is doing that. The estimated time of testing that these students will go through over a series of a couple of weeks is 5 to 6 hours, but each test is untimed. So students can take as long as they need to in order to finish the test. So we're excited about that. I shared at the last meeting, I shared our STAR scores. Our STAR, we're trying to get to a point where STAR can really be kind of that precursor to how students are going to do on the CASP. It's not quite 100% lined up there yet, but hopefully when our CASP scores come out, that our folks' hard work shows, and that our students have that opportunity to really show what they have learned. We don't just teach to the test, and testing is not all we do. We do lots of other stuff, but this is how our students are judged. Either they exceeded the standard, they met the standard, they nearly met it, or they did not meet it. So that's how we're going to rank our students and our schools and our educators as we look at the data of everyone and everybody who takes this test. Some celebrations, because it is that time of year. We had our Mount Diablo High School Senior Awards. This gentleman here in the middle, I've seen him around campus, and I've met that young man before, but again, another packed house. We do these things as the end of the year comes, and sometimes they may just seem like rinse and repeat, but these things mean things to each and every one of those families and those kids, and these are things that they don't forget. It's just a little piece of paper, but the piece of paper means something. It really does. And so I just wanted to capture this picture that I thought something that just should make us all very proud. Willie Mims Awards, obviously, I'm not going to go on about that. I want to talk about the Seal of Biliteracy. Our multilingual department has been a major focus of ours this year, along with our work with with the Contra Costa County Office of Ed, and also with the state organization, the California Collaborative of Educational Excellence. So we have really been working on ensuring that we're reclassifying our students, that we are providing training, that we're right sizing our programs, that we're making sure they have adequate resources. But the seal of biliteracy is essentially students who are proficient in one language and then learn another language, and they take the AP test in a different language. And so we had, a couple of you were there. Linda, Trustee Mayo and Trustee Mason were there. We had a packed house out at Ignacio Valley in the big gym, and each student who showed up got a cord by myself and the MLL department. But just a wonderful evening. Catherine, thank you for organizing this and your whole team. It was well run. Just a top-notch thing. And I don't know if you can recognize that young man there, the only one in a full-on suit and tie and stuff. But I was getting ready to basically put the rope around Alan, or hood him, as they say when you get the doctorate. But he got the cord there, and all those students were extremely proud, and it was a great evening. Another thing that's just happening in our district, and another reason why I'm just always so proud of the work that we're doing. When we say all, we do mean all. And in my reports, I always try to highlight all students. But these are our 18 to 22-year-old students who have disabilities and who are a part of our bridge program. But they do a news show. This is only a screenshot, but if you watch this news show, they do sports, they do weather, they do a joke, they do current events. I mean, it is awesome, and it's all student run. The bridge team over there, I mean, it is truly incredible, the work that they're doing over there. And if you haven't had it, well, the year is over, so I can't. We got the bridge graduation, but I was going to say, if you haven't had a chance, like, go to Bridge, go there on Thursday mornings when the cafe is open, go and visit the classes, go and talk to the students. Yes, so it's just, time will just fly when you're there. So, but if you get a chance to watch that Bridge newsroom, it is truly, should be a key point of pride for the Mount Diablo district. So really thank those students and their teacher, Gianna. Went to a couple open houses, but this is the Bel Air open house, and just families visiting classrooms. Just, you see pride on their faces. Families are always so excited. And then at pretty much most of our open houses, we have community partnerships where we have folks come out, and and adult school is there. La Clinica is there, like all just different organizations come out to our schools. The bottom picture is not from open house, but I thought it was cool. It's some sort of multiplication game that the kids have, and so they're learning math out there. Shore Acres open house. Again, they have a parent center where they were giving away books. Again, just really trying to infuse reading into our homes, and so there's a variety of books there for for students and families to take home. And so just real proud of the work happening at our schools during open house season. Wanted to share this picture. This is our PTA president over at Ignacio Valley Elementary, and I really like this eagle. This eagle is just clean, and you can just look at this beautiful family. Mom is PTA president. You got the two young students there, and we got the mascot there, and they're celebrating Teacher Appreciation Week over there at Ignacio Valley Elementary School. And so just want to highlight that. Just also want to highlight some things going on over at Sequoia Middle School. I know HR is not here, but there was a kickball game between students and staff. That's I know that's students on the left and staff on the right. One of them is holding up a sign that staff won 2-1. How you only score 2 runs in a kickball game, I don't know. But okay, 20 kids. But hopefully everyone was able to walk away from the game. That's something we're always worried about. But just a great way to collaborate with our young people and to have fun. The bottom is there's more pictures of this, but it's basically a noontime volleyball tournament that they ran at the school. oftentimes parents want middle school sports and things like that, but Sequoia is kind of taking matters in their own hands. It's a great way to keep kids active. It's a great way to, be inclusive, let everybody play. You don't have to be on a team. You don't have to, volleyball is a very expensive sport to play. Costs thousands of dollars, and you got to travel all over the state and all over the place to play. And here they were able to just do this at lunchtime, and the pictures looked like they had some real good players out there. So just, stuff like this is going on at all of our schools, but this was Sequoia's day. The teacher on the left, she was here earlier, and some of the students here, the young lady on the right, second in from the right, she was here, but they do a GLYPH book or class or club over at Concord High School, and we featured them in this week's Friday letter. And so I did just want to, again, show these students, this is a teacher who's thinking outside the box and not just drill and kill or something like that, but hey, what are some ways to really engage my students so that they can acquire English? And so this is something that they're doing, and they create these books with all kinds of images and pictures and stuff like that. And they're very proud of it, and it's a very worthwhile program. And I was glad to see those students here and glad to see that teacher here this evening. Another thing that was highlighted in our Friday letter, but I think it's also just a testament of our students. This senior over at Northgate, and I'm sure it's part of her senior project, but she made menstrual kits and did a presentation for girls at Oak Grove Middle School. And so again, it's that whole mentoring piece, giving service, helping those younger and things like that. So was just really moved by this, and just we have hundreds of these stories that take place in our district each and every day. And it bothers me when as people disparage public education and talk about we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. In some of the other states where it's just drill and kill all day, just to get test scores and stuff like that. I don't believe in that. I believe that we really need to mentor and work with the whole child and develop citizens, and not just kids who can recite and just very depth of knowledge, menial skills and stuff like that. So I think we offer a very well-rounded program here in Mount Diablo, and students who go through our system get a wide range of educational experiences. Again, our product is our students, and so we will be launching on Tuesday, May 26th. We're going to start off at Northgate, and then we'll go to College Now, and then we're going to end with Ignacio Valley High School and adult education and do a whole bunch in between. So I want to thank all the trustees for signing up to accept the classes, and also just to come and celebrate the good work that we do. We do so much throughout the year that this is really our time just to sit back and watch the families, the students, and the staff really just celebrate their accomplishments. So that completes my superintendent's report. Thank you, board, for letting me go and letting me acknowledge that family.
Okay, board member reports. Trustee McDougall?
Okay, it's been a while since our last meeting, so there's a few things that happened. On the 28th of April, I was able to go to the Parent Advisory Council meeting. I was only able to attend the first half, but it was well represented by the Mount Diablo Unified staff at that meeting, so that went very well. On the 30th of April, as I mentioned earlier, the Campus to Commerce meeting went very well at the John Muir Hospital. And we had a well-attended event, standing room only, very enthusiastic students, and they had very good displays at their tables to really show what they'd done throughout the year. So that was really a good event to attend, to really get pumped up about what we're doing for our college and career. On the 4th of May, I had the town hall in Concord Library, and I had 12 in attendance, a good discussion, following up with the superintendent on that. And on the 12th of May, I went to a site council at Pine Hollow Middle School. And I found it very informative, and it encourages me to attend more of these site meetings. And so I feel that that's a good way to get in touch with a real good cross section of administrators, teachers, parents, and even students. So I will be going to more site council meetings as I find them. So I want to make one final note that the agenda item that was requested at the end of last board meeting did not happen this time. We wanted to review and investigate the non-performance of the contractor from Measure C, Schneider Electric, and the details of the non-performance, where there were no savings on power usage. In fact, a 63% increase in power from 2019 through 2024, as verified by PG&E reports. And I request that we do an investigation to verify these findings. And I think that we've really got to be aware that if they got their contract falsely, there are False Claims Act in California that could be put into effect. And I think this is something that we ought to take seriously as an investigation. And one final note I want to make on the future bond issue, that is that because the amounts that are spent are high and the projects are detailed, I suggest that we have a qualified project manager added to each of the contracts that are issued under the next bond issue, because then we have people that are qualified to watch over the expenditures. And I think the cost of this is minimal compared to what they will be able to bring to the table as far as expertise on the money that's being spent. So that's my suggestion on the next bond issue. Thank you.
Trustee Mayo?
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. On April 30th, like Dr. Clark mentioned, I did attend the Seal of Biliteracy recognition with Trustee Mason for our graduating high school seniors. And our student trustee was one of the numerous awardees. I haven't counted this very tiny print document correctly. I estimated 310, so I was close.
344, I counted them.
But what I want to share that is remarkable is that some of the students qualified not only in their, of course, English, but in 2 languages, not just one. And the languages include French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, Korean, Chinese Mandarin, Dari, Arabic, Filipino, ASL, Mongolian, Vietnamese, I mentioned Mandarin already, Polish, Cantonese, Swedish, Serbo-Croatian, and Russian. And I may have missed some because the font is very small. I think this is amazing that we have that many students who are interested in pursuing a second language. And if you've ever had an opportunity to spend time outside of the United States, you understand how important that experience is and how remarkable it is. And I had that opportunity as a junior in college to spend a year in Germany. Don't speak to me in German now. I can talk to you about day-to-day things, but I can't talk to you in scientific terms any longer. But, I have friendships, many things. The benefits are so fantastic. And to understand that we provide these opportunities for our students and our entire community is just very important for me. On May 8th, along with 7 others from the Mount Diablo Education Foundation, I volunteered at the City of Concord Mayor's golf tournament. The foundation will benefit from some of the funding that was earned at this particular fundraiser. 62 golfers had registered for the great game of golf. and the funds will be used to provide programs to the Mount Diablo Unified School District students, regardless of their zip code. On May 8th, I also attended the Superintendent Forum for Contra Costa County that was moderated by the League of Women Voters from Diablo Valley and hosted by 32nd District PTA and the East Bay Leadership Council. It was a great success, and more than 45 people turned out on a Friday night at 6 o'clock when they should have been going to dinner and enjoying the evening. So watch the CCTV and Ed Channel programming for the repeated broadcasts. I think you will find it interesting. And I would like to provide a reminder for special education students and their family about the spring fling that will be held on May 19th at Monty Gardens next door at 6 p.m. They would like an RSVP, so please visit the Mount Diablo Unified School District website, the Special Education Department webpage, and the CAC subweb page to RSVP. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Lawrence?
I'll speak on three things. One, graduation season is fast upon us. It's an incredibly exciting time, and I think, you know, for anyone who sat through tonight's meeting, I just think there are so many things to be proud of and for us to celebrate in this district. And this is, you know, for me and one other board member, going to be a unique experience of having our own child be part of the graduating class. So something that a multitude of emotions, but looking forward to it. And so just wishing all of our graduates so much success and looking forward to the celebrations of them in our next couple of weeks. Second, I want to touch on something that board member McDougall covered, which is, you know, I also have a lot of concerns around the solar, and I think, you know, our superintendent, our staff, other board members have also shared that. There's a lot to unpack here. And I typically, you know, all the board members meet on a weekly basis with Dr. Clark. Typically, most of what's said between us keep private, but I do just want to say that he and I did cover the fact that he was going to bring forward a study session on this specific topic. And then I will just also say that in my conversation with him, when he talked about members of our oversight committees, that he was nothing but gracious and appreciative of the work that they've done. And so I want to share that. And then the third topic I will cover is the Bancroft dual immersion and the move to Woodside. So I think obviously it is a very complex and emotional issue. I want to share just kind of some of my perspectives on it, and then at the end I'll propose what I would like to see as a next step. I do think that one, I believe that myself, this board, our superintendent, and our staff are very supportive of dual language. I think we've seen the benefits of it. I was excited when we brought that program forward at Bancroft and to see how it has grown over time, and also that it is widespread across our district. I do think that, you know, from what I've seen, I think that the district is within our rights to move a program within different schools. And so I don't know how much, and we'll see that played out potentially in the courts here, but I do think that, you know, we're not eliminating the program. I think we've met the legal requirements, but I also really recognize the impact on this community. And I think there's a lot to celebrate at what's happening at Bancroft. I support the move to Woodside because I think that there's an expansion there that's exciting, and it will help balance out the size of those two elementary schools. What I would personally like to see, and will bring as a motion at our next board meeting, if needed, would be that I would like to see the continuation, at least for 1 year, in the kindergarten program for one class at Bancroft. And I would like to see it limited to Bancroft residents as well as the siblings of existing Bancroft students. Though that would mean that students who are outside the Bancroft area and who are not siblings of current students, that they would, if they're still interested, that Woodside would be where they would be routed. These students would also, the siblings, I think one of the other impacts that we've looked at is the transfers into Foothill and Northgate. And so that, these siblings, it would go, I think the path would be to continue through Oak Grove and Ignacio Valley. And I think that's a great opportunity for those schools. And that I would also say that this would be subject to, the superintendent and staff feeling that we could support the program for at least this upcoming year. I think that we would need to make sure there are enough students. I believe the numbers I've seen and discussed with the superintendent and heard from staff are that there would be enough students to fully have a dual immersion class at Bancroft this upcoming year for kindergarten. I would also, say that this is not necessarily a full continuation, but it would be a further evaluation after this year. And that also, if let's say there are 30 students for kindergarten, but then in a following year, that cohort, suddenly there are only 15, that may result in the elimination for that class if the students who sign up do not continue with it. So those would be the parameters that I would suggest. And as I said, I would like to bring that forward at our next board meeting if there's not already been an action in that direction. So thank you.
Trustee Nzewi?
Yes, this is our only meeting before graduation season. And so to all the parents of graduates, yeah, that was a deep sigh. I only get to do this once. So yeah, May has been a whirlwind. And yeah, it has been wild because everything has happened. It's been a month of, we're only 2 weeks, barely 2 weeks in tomorrow, a month of lasts. And so my heart goes out to all of the parents experiencing this daily last, like what? Oh, next Friday is our last Friday as a senior, and at least for my child, of like, do they have to go to school? Like, no, I mean, I have no idea if those 3 days before graduation, but their finals are done, if you have to show up. I don't know.
Don't answer that.
I know. I know, but there's like no clarity. Anyway, I'll send my child to school. Anyway, so I'm just congratulations to everyone who is finishing their did this class have TK? I don't know. Good. K through 12 journey that I'm sure is filled with many downs, but hopefully overwhelmingly ups. I just also want to talk about what's heavy on my mind, and I'm sure a lot of you and Dr. Clark alluded to it earlier, is this, besides this attack on our democracy, this attack on the voter, and especially this attack on Black people and voting. There was actually a Civil Rights Act of 1865, which has pretty much been overturned, and now the Voting Rights Act, and then the Civil Rights Act of 1965. It's amazing how much this fight has been over a century, like to overturn these laws that attempted to right a wrong. And it's happened before, it's happening now. It will happen again because they will always lose eventually. But what I reflect on as we're going into a voting season, as my child turns 18 on Saturday, so we'll get to vote for the first time in 3 weeks, I think it is, or 2, I don't know, June 2nd, I know the date, or not June 1st, 2nd. yeah, June 2nd, Tuesday, that people feel like their votes don't count or don't matter, but look at how hard they're fighting to keep people from being able to vote. And that's because they know they can only win by cheating and by not allowing people to vote. Yeah, it's true. This one's a fact. So the fact that how quickly two states went to, when a Supreme Court decision came, went to gerrymander their way to get to gerrymander away majority Black districts. Like when you look at the pictures, I'm like, oh wow, is this an episode of Eyes on the Prize? Those of you of a certain of age would remember Eyes on the Prize, or is this a my textbook from the 80s? Are oh, these are their parents probably. Like these are the children of those pictures that I saw in the textbooks that I grew up with around learning about the Jim Crow era and the civil rights era. So it's really, it's sad, it's maddening, but we can't give up. And so I'm encouraging every one of you within my earshot to please vote, because that is like our biggest defense against this BS. I encourage our seniors who are newly 18, at least half of them, probably maybe by June. I don't know when the date of starting school was pushed back. I was a very young person, so I graduated at 17. My birthday's late. But many of our seniors I know are 18, and I hope they vote. Because when we all vote, when the voting turnout is high, the right things happen. And that's what they're scared of. Because it's only when there's not enough voters that we end up in this position. It's only when, because of 2024 voter turnout was so low, that we end up with this threat to our democracy, this crumbling that we're just watching and standing still for of our democracy and doing nothing, not everyone, or celebrating. So you can vote early. My ballot is on my counter. You can drop it off at many boxes around our communities. You can mail it in, you can walk it in, or you can go in and vote. I will be taking my child to go in and vote because you have to have that experience. And I'm making her read all the flyers that are coming in the mail because she's trying to decide who to vote for. I know I've raised a brilliant child who knows right from wrong, who believes in everyone's humanity. And I have no idea who she's going to vote for, but I'm excited that we have another one like me in the voting rolls. So I know I took more time than I thought because I didn't write it down.
That's all right.
Sorry,
There's
not
no,
sorry.
No time limits on board reports. We're the ones.
But it's after 9. Sorry, y'all.
That's all right. I'll go fast. So, favorite time of year. It's very busy. On April 23rd, I went to Shore Acres where they were having a meeting to consider becoming a PTA. Trustee Mayo came as well, and I think they're off. I haven't checked back with them, but they look like they were going. From there, I went over to the DLAC meeting where we got to see a preview of the student newcomer presentation at that meeting, and also the parents got to give their LCAP input. On the 24th, I went to the ELAC meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning at Shore Acres. As always, there was many parents there. Then I shot over to the food bank to volunteer with Councilwoman Obringer, sorting food. And from there, I went over to the garden event at Rio Vista. And it was so cute. The kids gave me a Earth Defender card, and it says, "Thank you, Mrs. Mason. The garden is the best. Earth Day Defender for taking care of our earth. I love the farm." I'm like, Mrs. Mason really didn't have too much to do, but other than starting gardens in the district, but not that garden, but they're very excited about it. And I need to say that our food services, like above and beyond always what they need to do. They were serving snacks, healthy snacks that tasted really good to the family and kids that were out there. So that was good. On the 28th, I went to the parent advisory meeting where we had presentations from the HR department and the budget department. The 29th, I was invited to join online Mount Diablo High School PFC formation meeting. They're trying to get a parent faculty club going again. So that was fun to listen to. On 30th, I went to Campus to Commerce after teaching my garden class in Pittsburgh. I went over to Campus to Commerce. Our kids were so well spoken. I hope none of the presenters are listening because they were better than the presenters, the professionals. They were great, as were all their displays. Then at Shore Acres that evening, that date is Dia de Niños, which I never knew until that day. Packed house, all full of families and kids. They had dancing cows and dancing horses on stage and singing songs that I didn't understand, but I knew everybody was having a great time. From there, I shot over to YV High School for the biliteracy celebration. I hear from our friends at Bancroft all the time, but believe me, when we're graduating 324 kids that are multilingual, we care about bilingual education. In May, there was a Cinco de Mayo event at Ignacio Valley High School. The second time I went to one over there. And then I went to the MIMS celebration. And it was like, I felt so, I don't know, at home there. And I kept thinking, what is it about this? Why am I so comfortable here? And I went home, I was talking to my husband. I'm like, oh, I know why. Because in Bay Point, when I went to school, that's how the crowd was. It was many colored people all together, all sharing, which I don't always see at our schools, which is unfortunate. And then the Mims family is well known in, tell you, Mr. Mims is from West Pittsburgh, not from Pittsburgh. He's from West Pittsburgh. And I went to school with many of his relatives and served on a board with his cousin as well. So that was a lot of fun. And then I went on the 7th to the Wellness Committee on Zoom and talked about how we can get better nutritious snacks to our kids, which I've been harping on for many, many years. And then yesterday I went to the CAC meeting, was I think the best one I've been to all year, because we had Christine Filios there, who is always so good at getting parents to talk about the LCAP, and the parents talked and all the school folks just listened to the hurdles that they have to overcome, and realizing, we all have those, but when you have a special needs kid, it's multiplied by 10. And then those kids are sometimes taken and have to go to a different school than their home school. So it's easy to sit and think, oh, I'm the only family that has to deal with this, but we're all sharing these things. And I guess the last thing I would say on that is listening to the people that were honored tonight and the people that spoke tonight. For as horrible places some people make us out to be, we stick around forever. I've been here since kindergarten. You have, how many people came here and said, I went to school here, my parents went to school here. Anna's out there who worked for me when she was in high school. Ever works here that worked for me in high school. I say we got to be doing something right because they keep coming back. So that's my report.
I move that we move the items listed under the consent agenda.
Second.
And I'm not pulling this. It just clicked in my head. There's a thing on here about Mount Diablo High School and funding athletic boosters. I'm not going to vote against it or pull it. I just want to make sure, because at the PFC meeting, they were acting like they didn't have a 501c3 or anything like that set up yet, but maybe this is a different thing. So someone that's listening, I'm sure, will check on it and just make sure before they go on that trip, because as Trustee Mayo knows, you need to have those things taken care of, or people end up starting getting in trouble when they're dealing with money and all that kind of stuff. So having said that, I called it to their attention, and we have a motion by Ms. Awe. We have a second by Lawrence. And that passes 5-0. Takes us to business and action items. Review and potential approval resolution 25/26-77 implementing classified layoffs.
Mr. Sheehy is going to present this item.
Yes, tonight we have resolution 25-26 or /26-77. These positions came to you on February 25th and again on March 11th. This resolution is in front of you. These individuals either did not request a hearing or they will waive their rights to a hearing. And this is to issue final layoff notices by May 15th.
Thank you. Is an action item?
Madam President, I move that the board approve resolution 25/26-77 implementing classified layoff.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by trustee Lawrence, a second by trustee McDougal.
With regrets.
What? Oh. Okay. I got you. All right, that passes 5-0. Next is review and potential approval of the 2026 school site comprehensive safety plans.
We have Ms. Filios who's going to present this item.
Good evening, board. We are here presenting the annual approval of the 25-26 comprehensive school safety plans. I also want to I have 3 principals here with us tonight. So we chose as our example plans from Fair Oaks, and Principal Monahan is here with us. From Diablo View Middle School, we have Principal Wilson, and from Northgate High School, Principal Cooper. So thank you so much. They've been here very patiently, and
If I'd have known, I would have excused them all.
it is okay. Thank you, Dr. Clark. They've gotten a great look into our board meeting process and celebrations. I will just, before the board votes, I will just bring to your attention that due to a technical issue, we were unable to load Oak Grove Middle School's plan properly, so we'll bring it on June 10th for you. We've figured out our glitch, so.
Well, since they've stuck around, I want to let them know we read these, and I wanted to compliment Fair Oaks on right off the bat. They talked about attendance, which we need the kids here so we can make Adrian happy back there. Kids come, we get money. And then I also like them talking about the monthly events they do for families. I thought that was excellent. Diablo View, I love that they stopped, with the core beliefs of the school. I thought that was really cool. And in the other one, their vision statement that they had at the beginning, and then they had like what they expected of their graduates. So all of them did a great job, and we'll be happy to hopefully approve them this evening.
Thank you. And I just want to also highlight for the board that the safety plans are really a combination of a very broad definition of safety, which includes the physical plant. There are things in there you'll notice like ingress and egress safety and kids being safe on their motorized scooters, etc. Right? But there's also that wellness and the social emotional safety and the being in a safe and welcoming environment. And I feel like the plans are well rounded in that way.
And they seem to get longer every year. I feel bad for our principals.
The state has added additional requirements, which you saw at the end. Yes.
Can you just super briefly, because maybe not every year, but many times we've seen parents demand a copy of the safety plan. But as we can see, it's redacted. Can you explain why they have to be redacted?
Yes. So we publicly publish redacted versions of the safety plan for safety reasons, right? We do not want to reveal things like where students might be gathered in an emergency, etc. So we redact any kind of gathering locations and all of our maps for those reasons for the publicly published versions. A parent may go to the school site and request the copy of the full safety plan, and safety procedures are reviewed with students and staff, of course. And it's part of why we practice with our emergency drills so that people know how to do things in action. But parents can request a copy of that by seeing their school principal at the school.
So is the safety plan supposed to be posted on the website, the redacted version?
Yes, the redacted version will be posted. We post all of them on our district website and the schools post them as well, but the redacted version only.
Okay, so the redacted version should be posted on the school site's website.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I move to approve the 25-26 school site comprehensive school safety plans.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Zay, a second by trustee Lawrence.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Passes 5-0 for those listening. Okay. 18.3, review a revision of the board policy BP 3452 student activity funds. That is for information. 18.4, review and potential approval of changes to board policies and administrative regulations per California School Board Association recommendations for February 2026 quarterly update, and that one is for action.
Madam President, I move that the board approve changes to board policies and administrative regulations per CSBA recommendations, February 2026 quarterly update.
Second.
Okay, we have motion by trustee Lawrence, second by trustee McDougal.
That is just one.
Should we clarify which policy we're approving? Because there's a list of about, what, 25 there?
But we're doing as the rec.
I think you can just say as stated in the, on the.
As
I
stated.
apologize. She gave you the easy out.
Yeah, she does that for me.
Okay, come on. Okay, that passes 5-0. And we don't need a meeting extension. I think this meeting is adjourned.